Yes, it is, Andrew. This is the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast. Man, do we have a show in store for you? Tonight, we're going to be talking with our good friend, Rob Jarrett from UFO International Project. I am actually going to be playing the interview of an event that happened over the weekend, personally. Eyewitness testimony. We're going to get Jarrett's opinion, which is going to be pretty cool. But let's first take care of a little bit of house cleaning activity as I'm getting paid. You know, that's the problem with being in a studio with a guy that has ADD. All these little distractions called smartphones. So we'll just turn that off. So that won't be bugging us anymore. But yeah, Jarrett's going to be joining us. We're going to be playing that. We're going to be taking calls. If you have a UFO event, you can give us a call at 352-388-3900. I would love to hear from you and what happened. So it's going to be a good show tonight. But first, like I said, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you're joining us on Facebook for the first time, thank you very much. Make sure that you feed us, or don't feed us. I don't need more food. Make sure you share with your friends and family the show. That would mean a lot to us. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at the MN Ocean. That's the MN Ocean on Twitter. And then if you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. That also means a lot. We're growing. We're getting there. We're adding about 100 new subscribers a month. I know we can do so much better. And the way that we can do better is by you sharing with your friends and family. Just put a great note out there. Say, hey, look, got this new show, late night. Hard-hitting questions. Don't pull no punches when it comes to the paranormal. And that's kind of like what we like to do here. I don't have a problem, calling it bunk when I see it as being bunk. And we have a great lineup of guests. And without further ado, let's get to our first guest, who is actually, he was joining us on the tie line. But we will give him a call here. You gotta love live radio. It's one of those awesome. It says awesome. Thanks. As things happen to us, but we want to get going and rolling into the night's show because hopefully we're going to have a lot of calls, and we want to make sure that we get to all of them as we post it out on Facebook for people to come in and share their experiences, their UFO experiences. But without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Rob Jarrett of UFO International Project. Hey, Rob, how are you? Oh, seems like we're having some difficulty. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. But, Rob, we'll just do it one more time. And this time, you know what? I'm going to let you hear the dial. Let you hear the dial tone. Got to love alive.
Hello?
Hello, Rob. How are you, my friend?
Who?
Is this Rob?
No, sir. You have the wrong number.
I'm terribly sorry. There you go. Live radio. Gotta love live radio. Got to love live radio. We will key this up. Let me do this once again. And there's nothing like getting someone on the phone who has no idea who you are and what you are calling about. Let's try this again. It's like dialing for dollars.
Hello.
Rob.
Hey. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, buddy. I don't know. You know what was really weird? I called the same number and someone else answered. You got to check into
Are
that.
you serious?
Yeah, they were like, who?
That's not good.
That is not good. That is not good, my friend. But it's all right. Maybe they don't want us talking to each other tonight. The powers that be.
Very possible.
Yeah.
A lot of strange things have gone on since we started UIP.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I swear, I just hit redial on my phone, and it was weird because I hit redial, and I had you the first time and you dropped off. And then, it said I had you, but then there was no one there. So then I hit redial again, and I'm like, Rob, welcome to the show. And he's like, who? And then I was like, well, I got the wrong number. So then I hung up, I checked it, and I hit, I just typed the number in again just to make sure. And of course it was you, but it was the same number because I typed it right off of the phone. So that's weird. I don't know. Maybe I fat finger. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the implant in my brain is kicking in.
I hear that.
But welcome to the show. And once again, for those that are just joining us, we have Rob Garrett on the phone. He is with UFO International Project. He's actually in the North American. He coordinates the North American effort and being international. The UFO International, they're based out of England, right? Correct?
Yeah, the UK.
The UK. Yeah.
England.
But you handle most of the North American incidences and things like that, right?
Yeah, we, Mike does most of the interviews and everything. He's real good. I'm not so good at doing interviews and everything. We help out with the post and to talk to the people and try to get the reports, the sightings reports and all that.
Sure. Now, do you guys find most of your reports, YouTube is a little staticky. There we go. See, they do not want us talking to each other. So let me get this fixed here real quick. Well, not really fixed. What I do is I have to reset the YouTube feed. So give me 1 second. I'm getting reports.
Okay.
And let's see if that works. Well, now they don't have anything. So yeah, it's going to be one of those nights, Rob.
Wow.
I can already tell you.
We've had a lot of strange things happen. Helicopters over the house, the phones go out, people following us around. It's, when you start getting the truth out about UFOs, really, they don't want it out.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So there we go. So Sentinel in YouTube, I think we've got the line back up. If you guys can let us know, I'm waiting for Sentinel, who's our moderator. He kind of monitors the YouTube feeds and tells me, because I don't want anybody to miss this because it is very important. Sounds good now. There we go. So we're back on. So that was
awesome.
That was I agree with you. I hear that more and more as how do I say this? If you're part of the mainstream UFO effort here in the United States, it seems like they don't really mess with you. But if you're considered like outside of the mainstream, like an independent, I hear more and more reports where people will say they get messed with. And I'm not trying to
quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say like MUFON, because I have plenty of MUFON people, and actually I'm going to have Stanton Friedman on the show tomorrow. And
awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun show. And but I do hear a lot of like independent investigators, they do say that they get harassed quite a bit. Where the mainstream guys really don't mess with them. I'm trying to figure that one out. Why that is. Well, I mean, I have my theories, but I don't want to throw those out there because I know MUFON does good work here in the States, but you do have to be careful.
Yeah, most definitely. We, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about MUFON. A lot of times they do, but a lot of times, we've had a lot of people contact us that's had MUFON come out and investigate, and it's almost like some of them don't. Now, not all MUFON people, just some of their investigators is almost, I don't know, how would you say it, doubting them. Telling them they didn't see what they saw, and
Yeah.
Not all.
Yeah, I think it's like any other organization. You get people, within the organization to have a different type of personality.
Exactly.
For the most part, I think MUFON is very safe. My only concern with MUFON was the interaction that they had with different government agencies.
I like Bob Bigelow.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no. I was going to say that was my only concern was their interactions and their closeness to different organizations. And I don't have any evidence to base this upon, but people can say the same thing about me, with my background and who I used to work for and projects that I worked on is that, I could be a show. I can tell you I'm not. So I have to give MUFON the benefit of the doubt on that one. When I asked their directors and their officers in the states, direct questions, and they say, no, we do not report to a higher entity within the United States government. But that doesn't mean that they haven't been infiltrated. That doesn't mean that, the government, the government's putting people in your churches now. So
yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth. We run across something that stated now again. I don't know if this is fact, but I believe there's some merit to it. That everything they get, Bob Bigelow gets his hands on it. And he sees everything, or an affiliate of his. Which I don't know. If I had the money he did, I would probably want to see it too.
Yeah.
I'd probably do the same thing.
Well, I mean, the history with MUFON and Bigelow go back deep. There's got to be.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think, I don't think there is. I think Bigelow, where he's at an advantage, or where they're at the advantage at that level, is that they get to see the raw data. Most of the data,
exactly.
like we had the Stevensville UFO, we actually got the MUFON report and we published that. So what we get is the polished report, right? We don't get
that's it.
Yeah, we don't get the raw data. I got a little gnat flying around. We don't get the flying gnat data. We don't get the raw data. And thus, there's some issues. I wish there would be like a data dump. And a kind of a scenario. I wish MUFON would do that. Just do a data dump and then let people draw their own conclusions. Instead of, their reports are spectacular. I love the Stevensville report that they put together was top notch, and I appreciate that. But I would like to see the raw data behind it. I'd like to see the data dump. I would like to see
that would be great.
Yeah, the interviews that they didn't include, or or the people that they felt were manipulating the system. I think that's important to see, as well as
absolutely,
as well as those that they did interview. Now, we haven't talked about this. I'm going to throw one at you. So here is and I wanted this. I was hesitant of throwing this out there because I do not want people to think that I am, glory hounding. In other words, creating a scenario in which, brings focus back to me in the show. Because naturally, when you do a paranormal show and you have, UFOs, or you do that, or you see ghosts. I've been very forthcoming with my experiences in the paranormal with ghosts and past shows. And I as a pilot, I thought I saw a UFO, could not determine what couldn't determine what it was. And so it was enough that we requested we were flying IFR instrument flights, and we requested a course change from a deviation, because there was something, definitely flying with us in the clouds that was not showing up. Now, it could have been another plane. It could have been a military craft. I just saw the tail of it, and I was like, whoa, that's too close. We're getting, let's get the heck out of here. Someone could be flying.
But
Yep.
You've seen a tail. You actually seen the craft.
Yeah, I saw a tail. It was the craziest thing. It was like a shark tail because we were in clouds. So you got to remember when you clouds, you can get white and you can get breaks in the clouds, right? So we were flying into the clouds and there's breaks. And then I looked out my window and I saw a flash of a tail, next to it. And within about 50 yards, 60 yards, I don't think it was a jet because we were flying a 410, a Cessna 410. A jet can't slow down, that slow.
Right, exactly.
And the other thing too is a 410, even though it's a prop plane, it's got multi-engines, it's a dual engine airplane. A jet engine you would hear the rumble of the jet. So like I said, I don't know what I saw. I have no,
amazing,
but it's a UFO, right? That's what it was funny.
Absolutely. Anything that's unidentified and it's in the air is absolutely a UFO, whether it's ours or theirs. It's the unidentified flying object.
That's right. And so we, it was enough for us for our safety and the safety of our passengers, that we did request a change. And it was granted. I mean, it was definitely granted. So, like I said, but it could have been the problem, especially in civilian aircraft and stuff, is you'll get these guys these pilots, because all pilots know how to use instruments. That's just, you're trained in that. I mean, but the problem is that you get these guys that will start flying and, they'll get themselves in a situation where they're in IFR conditions. They're only certified for VFR and they say, oh, I can handle it. And so they'll just, they'll fly into the clouds, which you're not supposed to be doing. So that's a scenario that happens. It happens way too often, way too much. So it could have been a civilian craft as well. So I'm not saying that one was, like I said, it was a clear tail of an airplane, but it's just strange that they were that close to us. And luckily, we didn't have a and the fact that they were tailing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I had that scenario, but I will share with you a scenario. And I actually, one of my criticisms that I've always had about UFO guy, I'm like, why aren't we getting more pictures? Because everybody has a cell phone with a camera on it.
I do agree. But we have been getting a lot more and a lot clearer.
Yeah.
Like the Turkish video, that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. That should have been on every news channel around the world. That should have probably been the biggest story in human history, and yet it's hidden. You can only find it on YouTube. Not one mainstream media outlet has carried it.
Yeah.
And have you seen that video?
I haven't. No, it's the Turkish. What's it called?
Turkish. The Turkish UFO video. If you type it in, you'll find it. You can clearly see two elongated skull people, grays, or the elongated skull people, whether they're grays or whether they're an advanced civilization from Earth in our past. We don't know. But you can clearly see them in there. I mean, you can clearly see them, and it's not a hoax. And they filmed that craft, I think, 2-3 times.
Is this the one that Turkey UFO clearly shows aliens, Dr. Roger Lear?
Yes, absolutely. That is it.
So let's go ahead and key.
Check that out. It's amazing.
We'll go ahead and key this one up, and so let me pause this real quick, because that's the power of video, right? We can do this.
Absolutely.
So let me get this set up here. So we're going to say this is going to be a Windows capture. Actually, you guys have to bear with me here because I did not know we were going to do this, but this is awesome. Browser. Oh, that's. Just bear with me, guys. We'll get there eventually.
Yep.
technology. It's one of these things where you're just like, wow.
Ain't it though?
Let's see if we can. Of course, we're gonna go through all the commercials that they're gonna feed us, and here we go. So let's turn this on and see if we can.
Now, you probably want to fast forward to where you actually see them, because the video lasts, I think it's over an hour.
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. What it is they're not allowing me to the audio. Let's do this.
If you,
yeah, I'm not getting any audio out of it. So hold on. Yeah, I think I've got another fix for this and stuff, because I'll watch it in real time. I think that'll be cool.
Okay. If you type in just Turkish UFO, the first one, it comes up.
Yeah, it's not the issue of that. It's not that issue. It is the issue of me being able to, there we go, to actually display it. And of course, we lost our stream. See, they just don't want us to do this. They just don't want us to show this stuff.
They don't. I mean, they try everything to keep it from the public.
Yeah, when I did that, I'll let you guys know the stream on YouTube and also on Facebook just dropped. That is the craziest thing, because here I am trying to bring the stream back, and it basically on Facebook and also on YouTube, it just died. So let me restart the stream here and see if we can get it back together here. That was crazy. That was insane. I've never actually had that happen where, Facebook always drops on us, but I've never had YouTube drop on us like that.
Really?
Yeah, YouTube has always been pretty good. So there is the footage there. We can hit play. We have sound. Yeah, I'm still not getting sound back from the video itself. We are playing it though. And so it is showing the YouTube. It's 2:59 for those that are watching. So I see like a half moon shaped craft, right? Is that what we're looking at?
Absolutely. And when you go further into it, you will be able to see them. I mean, just clearly, you can see exactly what they are.
That's insane. The other thing that's insane. No, I see inside. I see the craft into the sky to finish. But you know what's really, really bizarre? I want to just say this is it's not showing up on YouTube. Why or not on YouTube? Crazy. It's not that it's not.
I have it pulled.
No, it's not.
I have it pulled up.
Yeah, it's not that. Wait, it's not that when I say it's not showing up on my YouTube feed, even though I'm playing it. There it goes.
That's crazy.
So YouTube, it literally has a 30 to 40 second buffer between it. That is insane.
I think I have the picture that's clear. I mean, you can clearly see him at 2 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah, no, I've got it, and then I see Lear there, or Gear, and then so I just fast forwarded the video so people can see it. I wish I could hear the audio, but there's no no audio, and then the explanation. That's insane. Yeah, you can clearly see these creatures. I guess the only thing though that really makes me wonder about it, to be honest with you, is the fact that there's nothing in the background except the UFO craft.
It was it was filmed over the ocean, and like I said, they filmed this craft in that spot. Well, I don't have all the info on me. I'll try to pull it up, but like 2 or 3 different times in different years.
Oh,
so it's not the first time they've got that craft. But I guess it's, everybody's got their own opinion. I believe that that's the smoking gun, and it should have been on every mainstream media outlet on Earth. At least for them to prove it wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and same date later. Yeah, I mean, I see now. Now you can see the ocean. They show it. I see it now. You can actually see it. They zoomed the camera out, and you can actually see the water, and there's actually a dog wagging his tail there.
Yeah, and if you, like I said, if you watch the whole thing, the whole hour, 2 hours of it, whatever, you can see a boat out in the bay and everything, and they'll show people walking around, then they'll view back, they'll zoom back in on it, and they'll zoom out, show the walk, and you could hear people talking in Turkish, and then they'll zoom back in on it.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, that's really, that is insane. I've never seen that video. That's the first time I saw that video and everything. So, that's why, we have so many people out here. Now, what I wanted to share with you though, and I promised the audience that I was going to do this, but we had some technical issues, is we were sitting in our backyard. Like I said, the only other UFO experience I ever had in my whole entire life was the incident when I was flying in the airplane. Mm-hmm. I think, like I said, in my mind's eye, I think it was an airplane. It was still unidentified, but I think it was an airplane that was just flying too close to us. So that's how I chalked that one up. I tell people, yeah, that was my experience. So until this weekend. So really? I'm going to set the story up. So Sandy and I are sitting on our property. We actually have like a 1/4 acre, and it's fenced in all the way around the backyard and everything. And we're sitting in the back. Well, what happened was our granddaughter had a play set, and she moved. Well, our oldest daughter and son-in-law, they moved back to North Carolina. So we sold this big play set, jungle gym thing. And Sandy, this is really bad, but Sandy always wanted to turn that area into like a fire pit. Anyways, like a fire pit, like sit around the campfire. And in Florida, it's been getting down in the 60s, 50s, and 60s at night. So it's great campfire and weather. Oh, yeah. So she was like, let's build a fire pit. So we built a fire pit there, and we were sitting out at the fire pit, and full disclosure, I counted up the bottles. There were 6 beers drank amongst 3 of us, 3 adults. So 6 beers. And this is over a 2-hour period. So I just want to make sure though, that everybody, hears that yes, we had 6 beers, but that's 6 beers. That's 2 beers apiece. Grown adults over
not enough to even
over a 2-hour period. Exactly. But in full disclosure, I want to say that. And so we're sitting there, and I am facing north. Sandy is facing east. Yeah, Sandy's facing east. And my neighbors who joined us, Dennis and Linda, are facing west. And west, in relation to where we're at, is facing the coast. So they're facing the coast, right? And about that time, I saw a couple shooting stars, and I said, I believe we're going to have a meteorite shower. So take a look up into the sky. Look up into the sky, because you're probably going to see shooting stars. And this is this is a recording of what happened, like right after it happened. And tell you the first person you hear is me. The second person you hear is Sandy. The third person you hear is Linda, which I actually call her Brenda. This is really bad. I always call her Brenda. For some reason, she reminds me, but her name's actually Linda. And the third person that you hear is Denny, her husband. Now, Brenda and Denny are about 15 years older than Sandy and I. And stuff. And I will disclose this too. Sandy doesn't listen to this show because she doesn't believe in the paranormal stuff. She really doesn't. She's a she's a skeptic. She does not believe in it at she just doesn't believe in it. So I want to set that preference. I don't know where Denny and Linda, sit. I've never really had that conversation with them. But Sandy will listen to my show when I have self-help people on and stuff like that. But when you get in the ghosts, UFOs, alien abductions, it doesn't really interest her. So without that, so I've set the story up. So here is what happened afterwards. And I think it's very important. Let me make sure that we're not going to be interrupted by a break here. All right. So here we go.
October 22nd at 10:16 p.m. sitting out in the backyard in English, Florida by a campfire with a Sandy, Brenda, and Denny, and Linda. I'm sorry, I always say Brenda, but large UFO or large craft flew over our heads without any sound, had a slight reflection, and Sandy, please describe what you saw. Go ahead. Describe it.
I don't know what I saw. That was strange.
What did you see, though? What did it look like?
It was just like a big black moving object in the sky.
Did it have any sound or any lights?
No sound.
Anything like that?
No light.
Linda, and this is Linda. Linda, who's also sitting here with us. Linda, what did you see?
It was like a helicopter in a way, but there was you couldn't hear it. Exactly like a helicopter.
No lights.
Do
you see any lights or anything?
Lights. You could see that it was an object.
Yeah, what kind of shape was it in?
Oh, you can make that out.
Well, that I couldn't make out the exact shape, but that's why I thought it was a helicopter, because it was sort of like a chopper look.
And how high do you think it was?
I don't know. Helicopter height.
Helicopter height. I mean, was it?
I mean, it wasn't, way up like a big airplane.
Yeah, so it wasn't up high, a couple hundred feet?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
that concludes.
That was wild.
This report.
That was strange. That was really.
You guys saw your first UFO.
Whatever.
I think it was
either that, it was a huge bird, like
the biggest bird,
biggest bird I've ever seen.
All right, then you saw your first pterodactyl.
It was a damn streak.
That was wild.
I was waiting to hear the sound.
Sounds, yeah.
God, I think we drank too many beers.
I had too much Coke.
No, Linda hasn't had any.
See, I saw it come between the trees here south, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
It looked the shape of a helicopter or cloud, didn't it?
Yeah. But it just, it traveled.
Clear. It looked like a light. Like a very dim light shape.
Yeah. Just moved across the sky like
it looked gray,
Yeah.
That was creepy.
But I thought for sure it was a helicopter.
Dang. See what happens when you sit outside at night? You have some weird bird.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
Yeah, the bird chirping at us, scaring us. But then that definitely was no bird.
That was wild.
We've seen the same thing, ain't we, Sandy? We seen the bird, didn't we?
Yeah.
Nobody else seen the bird, but we seen the bird.
Yeah, I thought that was, at first, that's what I was looking when I saw it go over here. I thought maybe it was a big bird, but it never flapped its wings or anything. It just glided across the sky.
Bird, that was a hell of a big bird.
Well, I guess we've got something.
Well, we could eat a long time off his wing.
What do you call it?
If we chopped the leg off, we could chew a long time on that.
Undercover watching everybody.
That's it.
Oh,
So there you go. And then, now the story behind the bird there at the end, I want to tell everybody. So we were sitting under this tree earlier. You know, we started about it's 10 o'clock at night, so about 8:30. We were sitting in this under this tree where we built the campfire. We have a huge oak tree, you know, an old southern oak tree, and we heard this like screech, just an incredible screech, which it was so loud. And what we found out, it was an eagle. That was, you know, it wasn't doing the eagle sound, but eagles make a defensive chirp or screech sound. And I couldn't see it, but Sandy and Denny saw it in the tree, and then it flew off. Basically, I think it got mad because we were under it with the fire, but that's what they were in reference in the back. And that's where they were kind of joking that maybe the bird came back, but then you heard Sandy say it's the biggest bird she's ever seen. No, this thing, it had no, now my experience was when I saw it, if you think of like a mirage on a hot road, it had it like a mirage. It was black though, but you could see through it.
Kind of cloaked, basically.
Yeah, you could see through it, but it was a mirage. And then, so you got to understand, I'm looking south. So I caught it out of my left hand side, and it, went, basically our backyard, we have these huge oak trees. And so we have about 100 to I would say maybe 50 yards, 25 to 50 yards of opening between trees, between top of trees.
Yeah.
And so I caught it as it come out from behind one of the trees. And by the time that Sandy and everybody else saw it, by the time I made them aware of it, because the way that I made her aware, I'm like, Sandy, give me your phone. And that goes back to why we don't have enough. I didn't have my cell phone with me. It was charging. I'm out in the backyard enjoying my birthday. And
right.
So I'm like, I'm like, Sandy, give me your phone. And the problem was her phone was locked. I don't know her code to her phone. It's an Apple. You got to use the thumbprint, thing to unlock it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, give me the phone. Well, by the time that whole fiasco happened, by the time we got the phone unlocked, it was already out of sight. And so, Denny actually got up and walked to the fence and was, looking at it as it went. And that's why he sounded a little bit further off, because he was following it to the fence, until he couldn't follow it anymore because the fence was there.
Yeah.
We had a big 6-foot wooden fence. And so, I was able, but I did hit record and did the interview like right away because I wanted to get everybody's
good idea.
And the other thing too is I left the recording go. I don't want anybody to know that they were still being recorded. And you heard, if you listen to the conversation, it was very, boom, boom, boom. And then after the fact, they, I wanted them to, still record their reactions to it. And it was crazy. And like I said, Sandy, so she was sitting west of me looking east. So she would have, by the time she picked it up, there's a street light right there that would have been, so she's looking at the backside of it. My neighbors who are sitting, they're facing east and they're facing west, or they're sitting east facing west. They would have been seeing the front of it as it came over. Me, I'm seeing the side profile of it. And this thing, like I said, it was incredible. I was awestruck. I completely.
Oh, I bet.
I wasn't afraid. I had no fear, because I've been told by guests on the show, people who are in contact with they're like, don't worry, you're safe. Don't worry, and everything. And I wasn't afraid. I wasn't in fear. None of us were. You heard the conversation. None of us were afraid of what we saw. It was just amazing what we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Did you try to see if any other people in Florida had any reports that night?
I looked at MUFON. Now, where we're at, I will have to tell you, we're in a very, how do I say, we're in a shrimpers community, very, very ocean community. Most of the people around here don't bat an eye at UFOs. Not from a negative standpoint, but they've grown up with them all their lives coming off the Gulf.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. By Gulf Breeze? Are you by Gulf Breeze or?
No. We're probably, if you go Gainesville and you go straight across. So we're right like Cedar Keys, right where the hurricane hit. They're not Matthew, but Hermes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents is down in the Gulf too, but they're over in Mississippi.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I hear people all the time. I mean, one of the things that we were wanting to do, and maybe this, when Hermes came, I bought a 32-foot sport fisher, and I was going to take weekend or night cruises on the weekend for people to actually go out into the Gulf. And I have, third generation goggles, night vision goggles, put those on people and let them look up and watch the things flying around there in the heavens. And when Hermes came by, it was sitting there at the boat. We were ready to get it all restored and get our Coast Guard license and everything so we could do this. Hermes came by. It literally picked now I'm wondering, the guy that was watching my boat said it was the damnedest thing he's ever seen. Now my boat is a 10-ton. This thing is 10 tons. It's a big boat. Hermes, apparently a level 1 hurricane, picked my boat up, lifted it straight up and landed it right onto the dock. And it basically sunk the boat. The whole front end of the boat was in the water and sunk it. So we're, fighting with the insurance company because I would love to restore the boat and still do what I want to do. But I'm almost wondering if that was if it really wasn't Hermes that picked my boat up and put it on the dock, because no one else's boat got, now they had water damage from the rain, but no one else's boat got picked up like mine. And
not even smaller boats, huh?
Not even smaller boats. Not even, my boat was picked literally. The guy said he watched it. He goes, the storm surge came in and we had, a pretty good surge. He said, your boat literally got picked up. He goes, it was the wildest thing, like a wave underneath it, just picked it up and lifted it up and put it right onto the dock.
Crazy.
I mean, they got pictures of it. And he was saying, he was like, that was the craziest thing that he's ever seen. And it's not like my boat. If you go in the marina, the marina where our boats, it's actually inland in like a cove. And my boat was at the far left corner of the marina. So it wasn't number one, it wasn't facing the Gulf. It wasn't exposed to the Gulf. It wasn't, so there was like a big tidal surge coming in. It wasn't a huge, I mean, I kind of said, oh, wow, that was a powerful hurricane. But now the more I think about it and the more I'm talking to the insurance people, they obviously don't believe what happened. Because they're like, well, this is not. So we had to fill out a bunch of paperwork. Thank God the marina, because it damaged their dock, they took pictures of it. They had pictures of my boat and stuff because.
Well, and you got an eyewitness too. So.
Yeah. Well, he works for the marina, but so we're having a bunch of issues with I got a gnat flying around. So we are having issues with the thing. And now I'm wondering is if something, didn't say, we're not letting this guy go out. We don't want him out in the Gulf. We don't want him taking video cameras and people out into the Gulf for the sole purpose of looking for UFOs. Or, and I'm not saying it might be terrestrial in nature as well. You don't know what government agencies are doing.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's,
that is.
Yeah. I mean, I had Brad Olson on the show and he made the same comment. Well, we have the Night Stalkers right here in Florida. That's the Air Force group, the Special Force Air Force group that flies in all of the deltas and
extracts them.
Yeah. These are the super secret guys. So you don't know what kind of craft they got flying around up there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it really is, like I said, it's pretty hard to tell the difference between some of the stuff we got and theirs.
Yeah. Well, and that was the other thing too, is, when Linda was talking about the helicopter, our house, when the Coast Guard comes in off the coast, our house, they literally, and I don't know, as a pilot, you develop markers. You have like markers on the ground that you use as reference. And, I did it all the time. That's how I would know, how many miles I'm away from the airport as I'm flying and stuff when I'm coming in for a landing. And I develop these markers where I need to be if I see this house. Now, our house is, very modern. It was built just recently, where the other homes. So our house stands out, from our neighborhood homes.
Yeah.
So I could see, and the Coast Guard, they will come in, and we just had a pool built with a, all enclosed pool, but the Coast Guard will come in and they'll fly like a U shape by our house and then go back out down the Chattahoochee, which is a river that flows back into the Gulf. So when Linda was saying they're at helicopter height, the reason why I think she's saying that is because she's our next door neighbor, and they take that turn towards her house and stuff. So, they're flying, I would say about 100 to 200 feet off the deck, but they're loud.
Yeah.
I mean, those helicopters, those, Jayhawks or whatever, the Coast Guard, those things you could hear from 2-3 miles away. I mean, they're
right. Yeah. I don't think there's none of them that's silent.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah. So when she was using the helicopter analogy, that tells me that they're, and I was thinking about it too, because they are search and rescue military. They don't have, by law, civilian aircraft have to stay 500 feet above the tallest structure in the area. So, at minimum, you have to be 500 feet. I don't think the Coast Guard has to adhere to that. I think they can fly a little bit.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, they flew over the house one day when we were swimming in the swimming pool, and I was waving to the pilot as he did his U-turn and he was waving back. So that tells you how low they were. And I was a little upset because that ended Sandy. We built this pool, and now she's like, I'm not going out there sunbathing. I'm like, yeah, but you can hear them 10 miles away, Sandy, when and they're coming. So just, cover up. I was like, you damn Coast Guard, ruin it for all of us. But yeah, he did. He circled around, and it was a co-pilot. As they circled around, I was waving to him and he was waving back at me, and the guy in the door, he had the door open, and he was waving too. So that tells you how, that tells you how low they were.
So
the fact that we could,
close,
the fact that we can see them. And that's about the height that this thing was traveling Saturday night. So pretty amazing stuff, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I still don't, like I said, the other one I can say, I can in my mind say, that was an airplane tail. This one, I have no idea what I saw. None whatsoever.
Right. Especially if you could see through it.
Yeah. It didn't have any distinct. Now they said it looked like a helicopter, right? But I think that was their perception because of where it was at and how low and stuff. I couldn't disseminate any form from it.
Right. And the one that said that was the skeptic, right?
Yeah. Well, Sandy is a skeptic, and she was saying it looked like a big bird.
Oh.
Well, like a big, at the end there, she was like, well, it's the biggest bird I've ever seen. I mean, obviously we have eagles here, but I mean, this thing was huge. There was no way it was a bird. I mean, it was no. It was bigger. I can tell you this. It was a lot bigger than an SUV in size. Wow. It was probably, if you take two SUVs and put them side by side, and that was the width of it. And I would estimate. All right, so it overflew. So it was about 40, and I would say it was about 25 to 30 feet wide. And its length was, I would say, roughly 20 to 30 feet as well. But like I said, it had no, it was hard to determine because it had no shape. And you couldn't, it was like, to me, it was like a mirage kind of shape.
Amazing.
But it was, and it didn't fly. It floated. You know, it was floating. It was not flying. It was not, if that makes sense. I mean, I've been around airplanes all my life, and things that fly have a certain characteristic about them versus things that float. And,
very
you know, and, you know, I was thinking maybe it was like a huge Mylar balloon or a weather balloon. Maybe they got away, but, you know, Sandy, you know, that was a possibility. It was possibly a weather balloon, because we do have a Coast Guard station right down the street. So it might have been a weather balloon, but I don't see, you know, number one, I didn't see anything trailing it. Typically the weather balloons have a trailing wire or some kind of the instruments. There was nothing trailing it, and it would have got caught up. That's the other thing too, is it would have got caught up in the trees. And like I said, I would estimate its width of being about 25 to 32 feet. So that's that's a huge weather balloon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was bizarre. It was the darndest thing I've ever seen. And, you know, so it's crazy. And obviously we're talking about something the government doesn't want us to hear, because YouTube just flaked out again. They're like, oh, they don't want to do this. So tell me a little bit more about UFO International Project. What are you guys up to?
The page was created about 2 years ago, and like I said, we basically take sighting reports from all over the world, interviews. We've had some really great interviews you could find on the page. We got the Facebook page and the website, and we have people, the admins we have, obviously here in America and the UK. We have one in Australia, one in India, Africa, Canada. I believe that's probably, pretty much, that's where sums it up. But it was created just basically because a lot of the things that MUFON done, you know, we wanted to give the people another option to report their sightings. So we have a place on the website where you can report your sightings, and, you know, we post it on the Facebook page, post it on the website. And have you pulled up the website and checked it out?
I have. Yep. The international, very easy to navigate. I'll have to say, you know, unlike the MUFON, which is a lot of splash, a lot of commercial. And that was one thing that really, that kind of concerns me. And like I said, I'm not downing MUFON by no stretch of the means, but it seems that's a class act website, and i.e. money. Someone put a lot of money and effort into that site. The UFO International Project is very, I mean, it's what I would expect from an organization.
Right. And from day one, you know, it's never been about the money. He's put so much into this, so much time, so much money into it, and there's no return on it, you know.
Yeah.
We don't ask nobody for money. We do this just because it's our passion.
Yeah.
you know, but believe me, there's definitely no profit in it.
Yeah. Well, there never
like
is.
I said, true.
Yeah,
and,
even in
a lot
this
of the
business.
things we've been through.
Yep. So I'm looking at this. No, even in this business, there is not. A lot of people think that you make a fortune, you know, doing this stuff, or and it's like, no, not at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no. And then, like I said, you know, we got to, you know, and you know, you're going through it right now. You got to worry about who's on the other end of your phone.
Yeah. Who's
going to be following you around. You know, sometimes they make it clear just how small we really are. They can show us.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, on my, you know, at the midnightocean.com, we posted, and actually we'll get back to this. We're going to let's do this. We're going to take a quick break because we blew through the other break. So let's take a quick break, and Robin will come back at the top of the hour.
The Midnight Ocean with Seth Horton
great.
On the Paranormal State Radio Network. Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
That is right, Andrew. This is the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast. I am your host, Jeff Norton. You join us on the web at www.themidnightocean.com or right here every weeknight from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Phone lines are open if you want to give us a call at 352-388-3900. That's 352-388-3900 as we're speaking with our very special guest, Rob Jarrett of the UFO International Project is joining us on the phone lines as well. Hey, Rob, I want to show you something really crazy. This has never happened to me ever. And you can't see it on YouTube, but for you people that are sitting there on YouTube, I'm getting text messages. These are text messages that are coming to my phone that are linking me to sites that want to install applications on my phone.
Really?
Yep. And they just came in. They came in at 10:54. Yep.
Wow.
So here we are talking. We're having problems on YouTube. Facebook just dropped our feed. I don't know about Spreaker. I know Debbie's out there listening to us on Spreaker, so she'll let me know. But now I am getting text messages to my personal phone, where they are now, they are now trying to get me to click on it and install software. I went to Biddy's site and I basically typed in that URL, not the URL, but I said, what does it reference back to? And it references back to a known site. So there you go. They're already starting to mess with us.
Wow.
Yeah. They're already messing with us. So that's just insane.
That's crazy. Time to change the numbers tomorrow.
Well, no, I'm not stupid. I mean, I'm just not going to answer it. It's just,
absolutely not.
I have my friends. I know who they are and I know where I'm supposed to get text messages, and my friends know that they don't send me links. Right. And they know that Jeff Norton won't open up links sent to him. Everybody's been perfectly made aware that from a security standpoint. I'm a huge computer security advocate and, anti-government. And, right before we were going on break, I was going to tell you, I actually have posted, if you go to themidnightocean.com and you type in NSA in the search button, there is a how-to instruction on how to tell if you have an iPhone. It does not work for Android. I have not figured out Android yet. But it will tell you how to determine if the NSA is listening or hacked into your phones. Really? Yep. And it's iPhone only. The instructions are iPhone only. And, my phone goes right to the DOD.
Do you mind if could I share that on my other page?
You can share it with anybody. Yes. Everybody. I'll tell you, it's one of the number one links on my site. Yeah, absolutely. You can share it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. It's detailed instructions on how to do it. And what was really funny is when I published that, I had a real good guest, a real good friend. He's kind of like my we joke about it, but he's like our Lyndon Moulton Howe to the show, because he comes in and gives us updates on Nibiru and Planet X and all of that. Joseph Reyna Five Eagles. And what he does is he shared that with me, and then of course we put together a detailed instructions on how to do that, or how to so people can follow. And it's crazy. It's insane how that works and everything.
I wish we could figure it out for Android.
Yeah, I don't know how to do Android now.
Samsung.
Well, what you can do is there are open source applications that will tell you what your phone is connecting to. via IP address. So it will give you like everything that your phone is ever connected to or connecting to via IP. Now, what you can do is you can then take that application, put that back into the NS lookup tool that I have there and see if one of those is a government thing. So, hey, Debbie, I want to give you guys, I know, Debbie, you're trying to call in. Debbie, I want to leave the line open for a new caller and everything. My apologies. Debbie, you're trying to call into the show, but I'd really like to leave that open for a new caller. We have posted this phone number out on various groups, and I want to make sure that new callers, people who have never called into the show, have an opportunity to call in. And with that being said, if you are listening to the show and you have a UFO experience or some alien abduction experience and you want to share with the rest of us, feel free to give us a call at 352-388-3900. That's 352-388-3900. And that's for new callers only. We have, unfortunately, we have a caller. She's out in Seattle every night, man. You ought to talk to her. You ought to send you her information. And maybe if no one calls in, we'll bring Debbie on, or I'll give her a call because I do have her number every night. She's been working with MUFON, and pretty much every night she sees crafts flying above her house in Seattle.
And where's she located? Seattle. She's in Seattle,
and stuff. But yeah, I would like to, like I said, I'd like to have. I need a 12-line system.
I wish we could get some callers from around the Shasta area. I hear that's really hot.
Mount Shasta? Yeah. That area has always been, my dad was Air Force. So he was stationed at Kingsley Field Air Force Base in Oregon. And even as a young man, as a child, I used to hear stories, rumors, and you'd hear stories from the Indians, and you would hear just various things, just folklore, as they would say, from the Shasta, Mount Shasta area and Rainier and that area. So it's yeah. I mean, Brad Olson was on the show and he was talking about some of the crazy stuff that he's seen there as well.
Oh, that's cool. There in Skinwall. It's both places are just really hot.
Well, I mean,
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm here. I'm just getting me some coffee. It's one of those nights for you guys don't know. It's an informal discussion with our friend Rob Jarrett of UFO International Project. We're just kind of seeing where the night takes us tonight. No formalities. If you'd like to join in the conversation, like I said, give us a call, 352-388-3900. Love to hear your story. So, Rob, I have to ask, what is the craziest UFO story you've ever heard?
Craziest I've ever heard?
Yeah.
I don't really know what would be the craziest. I mean, I've heard so many on there. I think the absolute craziest was we had, I think we was working on the UFO in the UK at the time. This is before UIP was created. And some lady, she sent in a picture. I don't know, a rubber alien, and she flipped out on us when we was laughing at her, because, I mean, you can tell it was just fake. And I mean, the story, it went on for days, and she would come on and use different names and just flip out on us. It was just crazy. And she would, like, stalk us down. We would try to block her, and she'd keep getting through and swearing it was real, and it was a little toy with red eyes. It was just crazy. But I don't know. We've heard so many. I truly, though, think some of the craziest things that I've heard has come from Utah. There's so much unexplained stuff up in the Uinta Basin that,
yeah,
and is it military? And
Well, let me rephrase. Yeah, let me rephrase the question. And so, what story have you heard or account of an event that you heard that made you take pause and go, "Whoa, that is," when I say real, but it's just like, that is insane. I don't know what I would have done if I was put in that same situation. Do you have a few of those?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say probably. Have you seen the thing that Greer done about the little miniature alien they got in the Andes?
Yeah.
And they was seeing orbs go in and out of the ground. I mean, it was just, to me, it was like, wow, it's just amazing. And they done DNA tests on it, and they can't figure out where this creature come from. They actually have the body, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe 6 inches tall.
This is Stephen Greer?
Yeah, Stephen Greer has the body, and we've done a post on it. It was just, that to me was like one of the most, wow, they have something here, and they don't know what it is. And
oh yeah,
and then the military down in that area, they have a base there that most people don't know about. And I guess they have negative energy weapons or something there, and they shot these orbs down. And apparently, that's probably where this body come from, or something similar to that. And it's they have it on the Cyrus video, and
yeah,
it's just amazing. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I'm bringing that up now.
That to me was just one of the most amazing things. It's like, wow, what, how did they get that? Just amazing.
Yeah.
And then they tested the DNA, and only one part come back human, and it was only to certain females in the Andes Mountains, I believe, Chile, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, we get reports almost daily, so there's just so many. Now, I've only seen, sorry about that. Now, I've only seen a couple myself, and they was red orbs. I was in Brown County, Indiana, and I've seen 2 orange orbs, and, I couldn't really tell how far away they was or how big they was. They look fairly big. And, it's real hilly down there.
Yeah.
And,
yep. See, I'm looking at these from Greer, and they just don't seem real.
You don't think?
No, they don't. They almost look, like a molded, but wait a minute. So this is, this is from the Huffington Post. They say it is human. Closer to human than chimpanzees. It lived the age of 6 to 8. Obviously, it was breathing, it was eating, it was metabolizing. Called big thing born. Director of stem cell biology at Stanford University School of Medicine. The DNA tells a story that computational technique that allows us to determine short area, blah, 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 blah. So there's wow. So this is real.
Exactly.
This is a real, this is past DNA test. It's non-human.
And it had to, is that something from here on Earth? Did it come in them little crafts and the little orbs? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that is
amazing.
That is incredible. Now, I had L.A. Mazzarulli on the show, and, they had the fairies that he got. Well, they proven, and a lot of the scientists, how do I say this? A lot of the scientists believed that they were real. And it wasn't until what happened was, or the story goes, well, LA told the story on the show, that they left this ferry outside of its alcohol, like, preserving. You know, it was in an alcohol like bottle that preserved the skin. And he said when the skin dried out, they noticed at that point, that the, wood, like in the joints and stuff. So it was a great forgery. Yeah, it was an incredible forgery, and they would have never have known it or noticed it. And they did DNA on it and stuff. So basically what it was this skin wrapped around a forgery or wooden, like a frame. Yeah.
Right. I believe this one here has passed all the tests though. Yeah. I know he was trying to.
Yeah. I mean, no, I can tell you that, Huffington Post, if they can rip up or shred us, as the believers and stuff, they would definitely do it. They would definitely do it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm actually shocked to see this article in the Huffington Post, but I'm glad to see it in the Huffington Post.
Yeah, it's something that needs to be out. And most people, I'd say 85% of the people have no idea that something like this even exists.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, it said during the DNA analysis by Nolan, the B2 haliotype group was found in the remains. Halio groups identify human genetic populations that often are associated distinctly with particular geographic regions around the globe. Combined with the alias found in the mitochondria DNA contained in the remains, the findings suggest that the Alta is indigenous to the western region of South America. While ufologists have said they think the Alta is extraterrestrial, this speculation is inconsistent with DNA testings of the remains. So they're saying it's human, but I ain't never seen a human that's 6 inches tall.
Exactly. And if you look at the head and you look at the old Paracas skulls, the elongated skull people, it looks almost identical.
Yeah. But this thing is only,
6 inches tall.
6 inches tall, had a total of 10 ribs. It ultimately suffered from oxalepsia, considering that the frontal structure of the skull is very open. The hands and feet are not fully ossified. Autonomous or paleontologist William Jugner has suggested that it was a human fetus that was born prematurely and died before or shortly after birth. An alternative hypothesis by immunologist Gary Nolan is that the Alta is a combination of genetic disorders and thus died prematurely. Nolan's more speculative suggestion, which is called the long shot, is that Alta suffer from a very severe form of dwarfism, but no genes of dwarfism were found during the team's genetics. Exactly. So it is truly a human being. The DNA clearly says that it is human in origin, but that is not a human that I have ever seen.
Not by any sight.
Or nor have you. That is insane. Wow. The world is definitely a mysterious place.
Oh, it is. Truth is definitely stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Truth is really stranger than fiction.
Well, if you do these shows long enough, you will know that. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I am fortunate enough to meet and talk to people who have experienced, really, really esoteric, things. And, it's amazing. So now I have to ask, what have you investigated any UFO sightings or alien abductions that actually kept you up at night where you were like, whoa, I can't sleep?
Not really. I mean, they all keep me up at night. I'm a night person, but I do most of my investigating at night. But, after so many of them, we just basically try to get it up and get it out for the people to see. I'm not really the people person, so I have a hard time talking or doing an interview or something like that. Yeah. I try to stay behind the scenes, But Mike has definitely interviewed a lot of people. Sure. A lot of people. I'll set the interviews up for him. I'll get in contact with the people and, have him talk and do the interview. There's been a few cases that really strikes me, and like the Audrey and Debbie Starborn. What's happened to them? Audrey and Debbie Hewins. Have you ever heard of them?
No. Go tell. What happened?
They're up in where is it? In Maine now, I believe, and they lived in the triangle up there in the Northeast.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the name of it up there.
Is it the Hudson Valley area?
Just north of there.
Okay.
I think it's in Massachusetts. Yeah, it's somewhere in Massachusetts. I can't think of the name of the Bridgewater. I believe it's called Bridgewater Triangle. And they both have been abducted multiple times their whole life. And they're two really great people, sisters, really, really great. I talk to them once in a while. I haven't so much lately. But, you might want to look into trying to get one or both of them on because,
well, I mean, what can you share with me the story? What, in essence, what happened?
Well, like I said, they've been abducted multiple times throughout their whole life.
Sure. I mean, did they give you any details, like, what happened when they were inducted? Were they surgically altered?
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about being altered. I believe, you'd have to really ask them that. I do know that they've talked on some of these TV shows that I've seen them on, and they've talked about how they have done experiments with them and how they've been taken up in the crafts right out of their bedroom and then seeing other people there that they knew that was in the craft. And I just thought it was kind of amazing that, two sisters would be going through the exact same thing. But, just.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
But, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just thinking of, so you have actually, you personally have spoken with these individuals? Or are
yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And your feeling is that it is genuine?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. No question about it.
Okay. And when you when you say no question, I mean, what makes you believe, because, we've all been duped, right? By people that are there. Yeah. So what makes you, what makes you believe them? I mean, what is so unique about their story?
Some people you just know are genuine. I mean, you'd have to actually talk to somebody to tell.
Sure.
And then, some people you can tell just make things up, They're two genuine people. They definitely are. And,
have they gained anything? I mean, have they been paid for their story that you know of? Or are they writing any books or anything like that?
Not really. Not really. And they've put on their show up there that's cost them money. And, it's like with us, anything they might have profited has went back into it, and they have spent much more than they ever would have ever made. It's cost them far more than they would have ever made.
Wow.
Far more.
So, hey, Rob, we're coming up on another break. Let's hang loose for a little bit. We'll take about a 4-minute break, and we'll come back with our very special guest, Rob Jarrett, of UFO International Project, as he shares with us his experiences and things that he has investigated or been a part of. And, we'll just kind of see where this night leads us. But hang in there. We'll be back in about 4 minutes, and you're listening to the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Norton. Join me on the web at www.themidnightocean.com.
This is the Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network. Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
That is right, Andrew. This is the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast. I am your host, Jeff Norton. You can join us on the web at www.themidnightocean.com. We're right here every weeknight from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're watching us on Facebook. I don't know how. They disconnected us very early on in the show when we started to talk about aliens and throwing up things that we've seen. And as I was sharing my personal experience and eyewitness testimonies. But hey, who knows? If you're listening to us there in Zuckerberg land in Command Central, I have to tell you, Facebook, I'm disappointed in you. Stop suppressing the truth. Stop suppressing the truth. You'll find that someone will come and clean your clock one day. And of course on Twitter at the MN Ocean. That's at the MN Ocean. You can join us there. Follow us on all of the Twitter pages. We will try not to send you erroneous tweets. They will all pertain to the show or upcoming guests. And of course on YouTube at the Midnight Ocean there on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on YouTube and you haven't hit the subscribe button, shame on you. Quit being a freeloader. Hit the subscribe button. That means a lot to us. And everything. We would deeply, deeply appreciate it. But what a night. I have to tell you guys, it's turning into one of those nights. We've been having a lot of glitches, a lot of issues. Hang in there with us. Obviously, I can tell when the message doesn't want to get out, Rob, is that we have these issues both on YouTube and and that's why I tell people the fallback page is always Spreaker. Spreaker seems to not adhere to any government overlord. They will feed out whatever. And that's the other thing too, is that we are going to start doing, once we get our video software upgraded, we are going to start posting our videos out on Vimeo. Vimeo doesn't, they don't have an ability to do live feeds like YouTube does, but they don't censor anything. And so we can,
oh, really?
Yeah. So, but the problem is it requires another computer that's dedicated for the video processing, and everything. So yeah, it's pretty intensive equipment and, in order to do that, but eventually we'll get there. We'll do that. But, cool. Yeah, the pizza man is messing with it. They sure are, man. They sure are. There's no
Facebook Gestapo's hard at work.
Yeah, they are. They're out there. They're pounding on us pretty hard. I know YouTube. It's funny when, what I find amazing is I can sit here and talk about esoteric stuff about reptilians and, and all of the obscure stuff, right? But when I start putting it to fact, like, hey, did you see this video of this Secret Service agent shift shaping, right? Shape shifting. Yeah. Can't speak tonight. And I start showing that stuff. Then I notice Facebook cuts my stream. Really? Like right now we are running on a very video output low. I have software that monitors our network. Our network right now is, I can connect to anywhere else in the world at over 100 megabit a second. And then the upload speed is over 50 megabit a second right now. And that's including the thing. So it's not an issue of the feed coming out of here. It's Facebook has throttled us. And what they do, and I'll tell you, the games that they play is they'll buffer. And when they buffer, they're hoping that people don't catch that and hit the refresh button on their screen. And then you'll lose the listeners. But I will tell you on Spreaker, I don't have any issues. If you guys want to listen to us on Spreaker, and just watch the video in the background, that's fine. That's what I would do. I would listen to us on Spreaker, or better yet, download our app. If you have a smartphone, you can go to themidnightocean.com That's themidnightocean.com, and scroll down. You'll see either the iPhone or the Android app, and that is actually being fed to you raw. So there is no buffering there or anything. It comes right from my microphone, right to Spreaker, right to your smart device that you're listening to. And that is another way of getting the show uninterrupted. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing some patterns here. So maybe what we need to do is treat this like a metal detector and just let's see how far we can push this. Rob, what do you think?
Sounds good to me, buddy. Let's try it.
So have you heard any reptilian stories? Have you run across anybody that's in communication with reptilians?
We've had a few that's called. I don't know. Do you really buy that? I mean, do you buy into the reptilians? Because I don't really know if I truly believe that or not. I have a hard time with it.
This is what I believe, and I actually experienced it firsthand. There's a few people in the chat room. I know that Sentinel was listening. When I had my old political podcast, I interviewed a lady who was a supposed director of the IMF, of one of the IMF. And so we were talking about the corruption in the banking system. This is a political podcast, kind of like an Alex Jones-like show. And we were talking about, the IMF and the political corruption. During the show, she flipped out, literally did a 180, right? She was talking about how the IMF is corrupt and how, we're all, that basically how they enslave people by using money, right? How they would go. I mean,
and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah. She was talking, a standard conversation that you would have with someone who was exposing how the IMF works and how they get these countries in debt and these leaders, they threaten these leaders. And right in the middle of the conversation, I know Jeff listened to it. I know Joe was listening, and so they can attest. Right in the middle of the conversation, she flipped 180, then started to talk about the armada that was coming and how we were going to basically all be destroyed by the reptilians. And
wow,
it was like night and day. It was like talking to someone who it was weird. It was like talking to another. It's like you're talking to someone. They close the door and another person enters the room. It was a completely different person. Now, wow. I have the good fortune of I was talking to an individual who knows David Wilcox real well, and we'll just leave it at that. And I was actually talking to him this weekend, and she said that the belief system is that are there reptilians in the physical form walking around? No. The belief system, and I'm not going to speak for David, but it was kind of refreshing because what I believe, I think, is what David believes. I believe that there are entities that channel through humans. I don't think that there are actual, I don't think there's who am I, right, to say this? Because I don't know. But the fact that there's like physical reptoids walking around, I don't think they're shape shifting like what people think. I think they're either reptoids or they are humanoids that reptoids are channeling through. And, you can see a person who is, have you ever experienced a person who you look at and something happens to them in such a way that they become like a different person? I mean, their whole like physical, I've seen that where I've seen people who have
as a matter of fact.
Yeah, who have changed their appearance because they're in rage or something. So I think that's what happens is that these humanoids who are their minds are being taken over by the reptoids. Their physical appearance will change to reflect that. And it's only, Lori says demon possessed. Yeah, I think that's That's kind of the thing, but it is scary. But it's just, yeah. Yeah. I was talking to her as you were talking to me, and then all of a sudden she just flipped. Wow. It was so troubling for me. Now, when I did those interviews, I was actually in a soundproof room. I had a sound, video, studio that was built. It was perfectly soundproof. I had to take my headphones off. I couldn't listen to her anymore.
Really?
In the middle of the interview, I had to take my headphone. It disturbed me to the core.
And do you have that on archive where I could pull that up?
No, we're looking for it. Yeah. My old show was Patriot FB was the name. So we had a website that was like Facebook, but it was for Patriots only. And then my name of the show was called The Midnight Patriot. We actually know who she is, and we're trying to get her on this show.
That would be awesome.
Yes, as a guest. We are reaching out to her. I know Joe's working really hard to get her on the show. She's not returning anything, but yeah, no, unfortunately, no, I didn't archive because at the time I thought everything would be on SoundCloud and remain on SoundCloud. And yeah, I got nuked, but yeah, you can type in, I was looking for it, for the longest time, but the name of the show is, The Midnight Patriot. Was my political. Let me see if we can. Let me see here.
Now okay.
Because it was on, hold on. It was on YouTube. It was set out there. It was set out on YouTube. Wait, we might be able to find it because Spreaker did publish it to YouTube, and nothing on YouTube that gets published ever goes away, correct?
I don't know, really. I don't know.
I don't think so. And this freaking gnat is going to drive me nuts.
Now I believe that the elongated skull people are the ones who really control everything. And there was a lady from the bank. I don't think she was IMF. I think she was a World Bank senior. Her name was Karen Huds, Hudes. And she talked about how the people that actually controlled even the Rothschilds was the elongated skull people.
Yeah.
And how they're the real Illuminati that's running everything and has, since for thousands of years.
It is, you know what? All of my old shows are out there under Spreaker, under the Midnight Patriot.
So it's all on YouTube?
It is on YouTube. I just got to find, because I didn't label the show. So I got to find, I'll just have to listen. It just says the Midnight Patriot made with YouTube. So I'm going to have to just, listen to the few hundred that are out there and find it.
Wow.
And everything. But yeah, they're all out there. Wow. This is memory lane right here. I'll have to find the show, but yeah, all my shows are out there on YouTube.
Cool.
So I'll have to, we'll have to find it. Part 6. There's, 5 of 6, 5 of 5. Yeah, it was like towards the end. Wow, I'm going to do some memory lanes here. I'm going to walk down some memory lane.
News. Nigeria accuses Islamic military.
Let's see.
We're in urgent need of food, water, or medical.
This is like when
a gathering of international rights.
Yeah, this is when we actually got syndicated.
Well, you can find more on those stories by checking our website at voanews.com. I'm Michael Lippin, reporting from Washington.
Wow, these are like memory lane. Yeah.
Cool.
bring in, as promised, Academy Award-winning.
So Jeff Hayes,
Michael Moore.
He's listening.
Good evening.
Do you remember this intro?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Rachel Maddow. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Keith.
There's been a spike in the desire to own guns in Connecticut statewide. Over 90,000 guns.
It's Connecticut, you moron.
You know how I feel about it.
I used to say that all the time.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Wow, this is like memory. Yeah, Sentinel's like deja vu.
Good evening, my fellow patriots, my fellow Americans. You are in the right place. That's right. This is the Midnight Patriot Radio Show and Podcast. Join me live. That was kind of crazy how that just cut out like that. A lot of manufacturing and a lot of that technology back here in the United States. That business has picked up tremendously, and that's how we're funding.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. I'll dig through those now that I know they're out there on YouTube. Maybe some of the listeners out there can go to YouTube and find it. Unfortunately, that they weren't labeled, but they are there. So yeah, we'll have to go back and listen. I would have to say that it was, if you start at the very end of them and go back maybe 30, you don't have to go back more than 30 days. I think it was like right at the end. Right as we got syndicated, and then the government, they tried to take it. Well, the government, the censors guys started censoring us, and I basically told them to go F themselves.
Don't blame you there.
Yeah. I mean, there is a problem when you get syndicated and you're naive to the process and stuff. So that was, I'll have to go back and, to listen to those old shows and see. And maybe some of you guys can help me by going back. I would say we only have to go back about 30 days. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah, bring that show back on. But yeah, that was an amazing show. That was creepy. That flipped me out. The other one, I had Laura McDonald on the show, and we were talking about alien regression, past regression therapies and hypnotic stuff. I had a really bad experience that following night. I've talked about it on the show, where, some really strange things have happened. I've never been intimidated by demons. I mean, they concern me, but I've never been intimidated. I've always, even when Sandy would have her bad dreams, I tell her to go back to sleep. I'll be there in her dreams. I'll be killing me some demons. I've always been that kind of guy. Aliens, they concern me because I think aliens have a physical form and presence,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about Paul Hilliard, the Canadian Defense Minister?
Yeah. Yep. I was actually looking at a lot of his interviews that he did in Toronto, and I was going to do a mashup of them. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Now, how many? He said there was over 50 different species. And I mean, if somebody was in a place of power to know, wouldn't the defense minister of one of the biggest countries in the world know?
Yeah, and you got to understand too. Even though he's Canada, he's still United Kingdom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, he's just Canadian," and I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. He's United Kingdom."
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, and by the way, since you mentioned his name, YouTube's buffering again.
Oh, go figure.
That's what everybody's saying. See, I stopped doing the political podcasts, and I stopped exposing the New World Order guys, and I stopped, doing all that. I got into paranormal, but they still want to mess with us. They still mess with us. It's ludicrous. It's really, and like I said, one of the guys that I was talking to said, yeah, we need to move the whole kit and caboodle. We need to move it over to Vimeo. And because YouTube, it's only a matter of time before YouTube starts really messing with us.
Right.
And that's why I keep on telling people, look, we are radio. Art Bell used to say that we are radio. We're not video. And so if you,
I love art.
Yeah. If you want to, if you're listening to the show and stuff, the best way to listen to us is through the radio. And if we're not in your area, you need to reach out to your local mom and pop radio station. Let them know that we have this show that airs every night from 10 to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We adhere to 2 o'clock. We adhere to all radio standards, no swearing. We have delay buttons and all of that good stuff. And on top of that, we give them 100% ad revenue. In other words, they get 8 minutes an hour to place their ads, and they don't have to share that with us. That's all theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know of a mom and pop radio station that's not owned by Cumulus or Clear Channel or any of those guys, but just the mom and pop station who is just trying to get by, let them know about us. And it's very important that you do that because, you just heard, just the other day, you're going to have the largest multimedia company in the world. They just announced, you got AT&T, Time Warner, all of them are merging into one big company. And then they're like, oh, CNN's, it's funny because they go, oh, don't worry, CNN's still going to remain independent. It's like, CNN's not independent now.
And CNN's the left-wing.
Yeah. Clinton News Network.
Propaganda arm of the Democrats.
Yeah. Clinton. I call it the Clinton News Network.
Yeah. Basically that's what it is. It's the communist left-wing propaganda of the Communist Party, if you want to call it that, because they're not Democrats. There's no more New Deal Democrats, that's for sure.
Yeah,
they're
try
gone
to,
with the wind.
We try to stay away from the politics, but I will say this on this show. I will say that it is getting to the point now to where they're digging their own grave. They came out on the news the other day and said that all TV is down. People, Sandy and I, we cut the cable. We completely cut the cable. It was funny. I wish I would have recorded the DirecTV conversation. We had DirecTV and we were paying a couple $100 a month. And I'm like, this is crazy. If there's a show that we want to watch, we'll just go out to Prime or whatever, Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever it is, and just, buy the whole season for $20 and watch it that way without the crap. I will tell you, the Norton household has become so much more, I want to say more livable. Sandy and I love each other. We get along. We're like best friends. We were best friends in high school. And a shout out to my good friend, Michael Doctor. Well, I don't know if he's a doctor yet, but Michael Fletcher's over, maybe listening to us in Ireland. But all three of us were best buddies in high school. And, but I have noticed since we've turned off the TV in the Norton house, we have been getting along a lot better. And I'm not saying that we had issue with getting along. It's weird. Our whole demeanor is different. Normally we would be like snappy with each other, kind of like, what do you want? What do you, or whatever. Oh, yeah, okay. I left my clothes laying on the floor. I'm sorry. Or I left the classic toilet seat up or something like, the things that married couples kind of get on each other about. Since we've, disconnected from the TV, we don't have that. It's funny how that works. I think I think TV, there's something I know there's something in the programming that causes people to become neurotic. I'm a firm believer in it. And a good example, and there's this gnat flying around, and I swear to God, I'm going to grab my gun and I'm just going to shoot him. But yeah, there's this, it will take people. Sandy even said, we're coming on a break. She's even noticed that she's going. We were driving the other day going to Dairy Queen, and to get her ice cream, and she came back and she's like, I'm having TV withdrawals. So you don't get withdrawals from a product that doesn't stimulate your mind in such a way. So she's actually said that. But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we're talking with our very special guest. Oh my gosh, wrong button. Rob Jarrett of the UFO International Project as we carry on tonight. Hey, give us a call, guys. 352-388-3900. 352-388-3900. Love to hear from you.
This is the Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network. Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
Yes, it is. This is the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast, and I am your host, Jeff Norton. I'm not a shapeshifter. I'm not a changeling. This is me. What you see is what you get. I do have a hole in my head, though. I noticed that on YouTube. I was looking through. It's amazing. I just confirmed what my children have been saying to me all my life. There's nothing between these ears. You have to get out to YouTube and take a look at that. Find out what we're talking about there. But if you are joining us on Facebook Live, I don't know how. Considering Facebook disconnected our feed a few hours ago. Got a little too controversial for them as we talk about aliens and such. But of course, you can always follow us on Twitter. We will keep the tweets down to a minimum. We only send you things that pertain to the show. And of course, if you're following us on YouTube, thank you. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, shame on you. Freeloader. We appreciate it. But we are talking with our very special guest, Rob Jarrett. Hey, by the way, Rob, Lori in the chat room says you don't like to talk. You're not a talker.
No. I tried to get the guys on, but like I said, it's really late or really early there in the UK.
And I don't understand those Brits anyways. I want to talk to a good old Yank. So, no, it's funny. You're doing good, man. You're doing good. See, it's my job as the host. I'm the expert, so I'm the guy that's supposed to keep you talking or get you talking. I've been trying really hard. I figured if you drink a couple more of those glasses, you'll start.
Oh, you can hear that?
Oh, let me explain something to you. Did anybody tell you this show's in high def? Everybody can hear that.
No. Oh, man.
It's all right, though, man. It's a late night show. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I was just gonna let you drink like 4 of those, and then I figured by that time I couldn't get you to shut up.
That's just Coke, man.
Oh, come on now. You're not putting a little something in there?
No, the rest of us? Don't drink, buddy.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I've given up the hard stuff a long time ago. And the hardest drink I'll do is a Tim Hortons, the best dang coffee you'll ever drink. If you're within 500 miles of a Tim Hortons, I highly recommend that you drive up there and get yourself a Danish.
I've heard that, man, and I've never. Are they in the South?
No,
primarily in the South.
No, it's a Canadian. Tim Hortons is a Canadian coffee company. Yeah, they're the guy that owned it was a Canadian or a hockey superstar. Yeah, his name was Tim Horton. And so you got to be, for people, it's kind of like a cult thing. You have to be a Canadian. If you're Canadian, you know it's Tim Hortons. Like if you ever meet a Canadian and like you think your conversation's going south with them, just say, hey, man, we'll just meet at Tim Hortons in a couple hours or whatever. And they'll be like, okay. Yeah. In Western New York. Yeah, they kind of infiltrate. Yeah, because Tim Horton, he played for the New Jersey, for the Devils. So Timmy O's, as they would say. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but I did hear, though, that Tim Hortons and Wendy's Corporation have merged together, and I believe the coffee you get at Wendy's now is Tim Hortons. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. And I was told that there is a Tim Hortons that opened up in Tampa, and the reason being is we have a lot of Canadian expats that live in this area. So yeah, it's great coffee, man. It Starbucks and all that other mud. Tim Ho's, man, tears it up. They're awesome.
Really?
Great coffee. They're not sponsors, but I promote them because I love their coffee. You can get it on the internet or Amazon. Yeah, they don't pay me. I don't get paid from Timmy O's. I just like their stuff, and I'll promote the heck out of them.
I understand that.
Yep. So let's get back to the topic tonight. Like I said, if you have a UFO story or an experience that you would like to share with us and our very special guest, Rob Jarrett of UFO International Project, feel free to give me a call at 352-388-3900. That's 352-388-3900. I want to preface this. I would like to keep this open for the next 30 minutes for first-time callers. After that, then anybody can call. Right? I want to keep the line open so that people who have never spoken with us can call and, share their experience with us. And after 30 more minutes, if no one calls in, then we'll just open it up for anybody. So,
cool.
Yeah. So, Tim, in your experience, all right. So have you ever seen physical evidence of UFO stories or anything?
Actually, not really. I mean, not really. Not with my own two eyes. Never touched nothing. Only, like I said, the only two I've ever seen was orange orbs, and that was down in Brown County. So, I've never had nobody call or have us come out and take a report of anything like that. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think the funniest story I've ever heard about physical. I was talking to Linda Zimmerman. She wrote the Hudson Valley incident, that the whole series there on the Hudson Valley UFO. And it was hilarious because she tells a story of a lady who was abducted, and her husband apparently is a science teacher or a science person. And so she woke up the next morning and she tells her husband that she was abducted, that she was literally floated out of her second story window into a spacecraft that was down below, that was parked down below. The husband naturally is like, yeah, you're batty, woman. You're crazy. And so he gets up and he goes outside to, for whatever reason. He comes running back in, and she tells this story. You gotta, go back to Linda Zimmerman. She goes running back into the house, and she is just, literally, he is in a panic. He's like, call the police, call the fire department, call whatever, call National Guard. And he's just, going crazy. And she's like, wait, I'm the one that got abducted here. And you thought I was, BSC. We'll say BSC, right? You guys can put the acronym together. Right. BSC. And so he was like, no. So what happened is apparently they were getting some, paver work done, some stone work done. And they had a huge pile of sand that was piled up in, by their driveway. Mm-hmm. And apparently, now, if I'm an alien, this is what I would do. I just do it just to mess with humans. So apparently when he went outside, this pile of sand that they had was completely squished like a pancake. So these aliens landed their spacecraft on top of this sand. And it's actually the cover, the picture of it. Now, this happened back when they had Polaroids, right? They didn't have the things. But the picture of her book, The Hudson Valley UFO, you can actually see she took it's the cover of her book where she took the Polaroid and had it reproduced. But you can see this big pile of sand that has been completely smushed down, like flattened, like something. And you got, look, if you work with pavers and sand and stuff, you can compact sand, but to be able to compact it from a huge mound to maybe 6 inches tall, had to be just a huge, yeah. And then
I was a professional mason. It ain't going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. You heard it from go out there. If you go Hudson Valley UFO, you'll see the picture of it. She was a guest on the show. It was amazing. She told this story and, he was a believer. And, and Linda saw the sand. She saw the mountain, what was left of it, when she was doing the investigation.
Up in the Hudson Valley. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Up there in the Hudson Valley, wasn't that where Whitley Strieber got abducted too, right in that area?
Yes. Yep, the whole communion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the whole communion, the book Communion was there. Yep, the Hudson Valley. And that's a hot spot. Now, she says that it has since died down, but there's still reports. UFOs tend to, and you tell me if this is true, they tend to follow along like natural water beds, riverbeds, and things of that nature.
Yeah, I believe they do. Definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And also you'll have a lot of sightings in one place and then it will die down, and then you'll have them someplace else and it will die down. But a lot of them do follow water. There was another one up in Maine where these people went camping and they all got abducted. And, it was in the water. They was up there in the water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they most definitely do.
Yeah, if they generate their energy, or if the water is a good, I have to, that would be a Hutchinson effect. I'd have to get, actually, who would know? And I saw John jump into the chat room. John, if you're still there in the chat room, please raise your hand so we'll know you're still there, because we have to find the correlation of water and electromagnetic systems, because obviously these things are hovering, and so they're using some form of electromagnetic or like a anti-gravity Hutchinson effect kind of stuff. And there might be a correlation there why they do it. Lori in the chat room says they also follow ley lines. I believe that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, we were talking last night's show. We had Brooks Agnew on, and he was talking about the magnetic ley lines, and he was talking about the hollow earth, and that was pretty trippy. And it was refreshing to have someone talk about the hollowed earth without getting into aliens living there. I mean, it is possible to have other species living there, but he stayed with the science, and that was refreshing. Because a lot of people, let's be honest, when they get in these esoteric, they start grandstanding.
True.
I remember Art Bell used to say that. He'd say, we'd get guests on the show, and their first show was a great show. And then they would come back on the second show, and they felt that they needed to better their first show. And so then the grandstanding and the grandiose comes out. And he says it really ruins the guests.
It does. People so basically what you're saying is they make things up to make it sound better than, to me, people that hoax and make things up, that's a cancer to all of us that's actually trying to seek the truth.
Yeah. Well,
it's an absolute cancer.
It is. The fact that there's a hollow earth is incredible. I can see the brain processing. Well, we've already proven that the hollow earth exists. So let's just throw in a few reptilians. It's kind of like a cookbook, right? It's like a cookbook. You go, oh yeah, here's the spaceship. Here's the picture of the spaceship. Right. Let's throw in a few Pleiadians that come out and say hi to us and talk to us in our dreams.
Right. Well, they'll take Admiral Byrd's story and just stretch it.
Yeah. So that was, hey, I see John's in the thing. John, you have a gentleman who is that we're trying to get on the show, who is kind of like John Hutchinson, for the Hutchinson effect. But John, you were mentioning, I wonder if we can get him on the show and ask him, what is the significance of water with these anti-gravity engines? And, John is in the chat room, so he just heard that. So, there you go. Powered by water. Yeah, David P., you're absolutely right. Most, there's over 1,400. That was the thing, too. I was talking with friends and family. They said, do you actually believe in alien abduction? I'm like, well, who's taking the 1,400 American citizens every day?
Right, exactly.
Poof, gone. I mean,
it's in it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying it ain't all happening in state parks, I mean, David Politis touched on it a little bit, but
yeah,
there's so many that's just vanishing, like you said, every day. Something's going on.
1,400 Americans a day, on average.
Wow.
Disappear every day.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, I was talking with someone, they're like, well, what do these reptoids eat? I'm like, humans. What else would they eat? What do you eat? Cows. Okay.
Exactly. And look at that mutilated cows that they find all over.
Exactly. That's the gourmet reptilians. Those are the sushi, the sushi eating reptilians, the ones that are all fancy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big Mac eating reptilians just gnaw on humans.
Yeah.
So that's, and we shouldn't laugh about that because, that's when they're okay. Okay, human. You laugh, but no, seriously. I mean, you got 1,400 Americans that disappear from this country every day.
That's insane.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's a lot of humans. And like I said, poof, gone. Poof. Never to return. Never to return.
You know what? Have you read anything about Politis where he talks about that, like the missing 411?
Yeah. I mean,
he never really touches on. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to get him on the show.
Oh, okay. He never really touches on what his opinion is of how it's happened.
I think that's good.
I've never seen it.
I think that's good. It's kind of like me staying away from politics. Because he is, and it's kind of like Brooks Agnew, and it's kind of like Robert Zimmerman and stuff getting out of the, science. He's a reporter, so he's reporting on the story. And the problem is that he doesn't know. And so, as a good, and that tells you, that just lends credibility to him because he's not forming a speculation. He's just reporting, hey, look, people are disappearing out of our state parks every day. There is a conflict, our federal parks, there's a conflict between state and federal officers. The state officers are being rejected from doing investigations because this is federal property, and the federal government doesn't seem to give a damn.
Right, and they won't even give you a list. They want to charge you, $1 million, $1 million, $1.2 million?
Yeah.
Just for a list?
A list of these individuals. That's the other thing, too. When you file the Freedom of Information Act on how many of these people, they want to charge you a processing fee of $1 million to get this information.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, they make, why they made the costs up there, because they don't want to provide you the list.
Exactly, and it should be public knowledge.
Yes. I used to hike the Appalachian Trail and all of the parks with a good friend of mine. We used to, every weekend, man, we would throw our camping stuff in the back of the truck and we would head up to the mountains. And we lived in it. Sean was a dear friend. And, he's the kind of guy, when I tore my ankle up and my shoulder and stuff, he stayed with me for 8 months while I recuperated. The day he went with me to the doctor's office, the orthopedic surgeon. The doctor was like, "You're healed. You'll never be able to climb or do any of that stuff again, but you're healed." Sean was like, "I'm gone." And a day later, he was in Las Vegas, Nevada, skiing moguls. But he stayed, he was my best friend. I mean, if I could have a best friend, and he stayed with me to recuperate. But the minute the doctor's like, "Hey man, we're talking," he helped me tremendously. I would have had to go into a nursing home, if it wasn't for Sean. And, he stayed with me the whole time. And in the minute the doctor said, "You're healed," you can now do on your own. Sean, the next day, he's like, "I'm God." And, he was in Las Vegas, Nevada. But yeah, we hiked, the Appalachian Trail. There's articles written about Sean and I in North Face magazine.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were known by North Face. We were actually, at the time before sponsorship was a big deal, we were sponsored all of our gear. We sold more camping North Face gear in Tennessee than any of the retail stores. Because all of our gear, when we would go camping, we would come across people and, show them the equipment, let them use, and we had a deal with North Face where they were like, we would give tents away. We would give away $1,000 tent to people hiking on the Appalachian Trail and just give it, and North Face would replace it for us. So here you go. Because I
wonder how many.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder how many sightings and everything has been documented up and down that trail.
Oh, in all the years, I've never ever seen anything.
Never.
We had an encounter with a black bear once who blew his head off. We can only assume. We didn't find the black bear. I wasn't going to go look for him. But we had an MSR stove that he bit into the, pressurized fuel canister on our MSR, and it blew his head off. Well, we think there was blood everywhere, and I wasn't going to go look for a pissed off bear.
No.
And, so that was the only experience. I mean, we've been chased down the path by wild hogs, which that was fun. But them
are the worst thing in the woods.
Yeah, you can smell them. And, we had devices. I won't tell you what we had to protect ourselves, because you weren't supposed to have things in the national forest. But we did. I never saw anything in all the years that we've camped out. Sean and I we had hammocks, climbing hammocks, and we would literally, dig into the side of mountains and hang off of cliffs and camp off the side of the cliffs there in Tennessee and Chattanooga and stuff. And we never saw anything, nothing. And when we would go out west, we would go to Utah and do mountain climbing out there. We climbed pretty much every mountain there is to climb in the United States. And we never ever in our whole entire life, never saw anything ever. Yeah. My first real UFO experience was last weekend. In all the years that I've been doing it, I've seen. Now, I take that back. I've been out in the ocean and I've had experiences. I've seen things in the sky, but they were so far away that I couldn't discern what they were. They didn't act like any airplane I ever knew, or it had a flight characteristic of any airplane I ever knew about. But like I said, this Saturday, what happened to us last Saturday, that was definitely what I would say a UFO. That was without a doubt a UFO. It was close enough to know that I knew it was no terrestrial craft I ever knew about or have ever seen. And, we're some smart cookies, but, this thing didn't fly like anything I've ever seen fly. And it didn't make any sound. So.
And you could see through
it. Yep. It was, yeah. That was the other thing too. It was a mirage. It was like a mirage. And, now the cloaking, I'm sure there's cloaking. Well, you can see through my green head right now. I'm wearing my green alien hat on a green screen, and you look right through it right now. It's kind of like that. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk with our good friend, Rob Jarrett. He is with the UFO International Project. As you guys can kind of hear tonight, we're just kind of playing it loose, having a great conversation. If you'd like to join in the conversation, give us a call, 352-388-3900. That's 352-388-3900. Would love to hear from you. And I know, Lori, you have been waiting anxiously, so yes, you can call in. And then, Deb, I will tell you, you have been waiting very patiently, so you can call in after Lori calls in.
This is the Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network. Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
reminder, this is the Midnight Ocean radio show and podcast. As we're kind of just cruising out there, we're just going out for a little joyride tonight. Not a whole lot of purpose in our trip. Just having a good time with our good friend Rob Jarrett from the UFO International Project. All right, guys, you have been diligent. You guys have been very diligent in the fact that you haven't called in. So I will say, Lori, if you want to give us a call 352-388-3900. Love to hear from you. And then after Lori calls us, you can give us a call. I hate to do that. I got to get more phone lines, right, Lori?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you? say hello to Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Rob, can you hear Lori?
I can't hear her talking.
You can't hear. She said hello. You can't hear her talking? See, that's the problem with this system.
I can't hear him either.
That is wild. So I'll just translate between the two of you guys. He said hello.
Yeah. Rob's doing great, by the way. Just wanted to let him know that. I'm listening to him. Just here for moral support.
Yeah, for a guy that doesn't talk a whole lot, he's definitely doing a great job.
He is, definitely. Yeah.
It was funny.
Rob's my partner. Rob and I are partners in crime over at Truth Seekers World. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, okay, that's the correlate. Okay, that makes sense. No, it's just it's funny because I know that you were like, yeah, Rob doesn't really, and then Rob was like, I don't like talking. I'm not a talker. And I'm like, no, you're doing fine. Well, the problem is that, I'm a powerhouse when it comes to talking. I'll talk your freaking ear off if you let me. I get yelled at on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube criticisms, I get people like, I had Dr. Ram on, Richard Allen Miller, which, by the way, guys, I want to let you guys know that Dr. Ram and I are becoming friends. I had one guy actually, criticize me. He said, Dr. Ram must just hate you. And it's like, well, no, actually, we're pretty good friends. We're going to hook up together. We're going to hang out together in December for a weekend. But it's funny because they're like, I can't believe you talked over Dr. Ram. It's like, well,
I get that a lot too. I hear people telling me, because you've got to fill the dead air. You've got to be able to do that, and they take it as I'm talking over it. No, I'm not really talking over it. I'm just trying to make it, so it's not any more than 5 seconds of dead air.
That you are correct, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that is they don't understand that when you do a 4-hour show, you have a lot of dead air, and you have to, as a host, keep it going. You have to talk to allow your guests to reboot their mind and to get back on the top. Yeah, it's exactly. I just tell people, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, you'll see it in the YouTube comments all the time. I can't believe you talked over Dr. Ram. I can't believe you talk too much. It's like, well, okay, sorry. It is.
I've got haters, and I just don't care.
You have a lot of guests that can't really talk
exactly.
To
so I told Rob I would call in. I just wanted to call in and just tell him that I'm here and give him moral support. And doing a great job. This is the guy. These are the guys that when I called and told you about my UFO experience, these are the guys that I was telling you about to go to their website and you can report sightings. Sure. This was the UFO project.
This is the UFO. Okay. So let me translate, Rob. I just want to say, Lori says that, you got to work on your social skills, man. You are a horrible speaker, and that, I'm sorry. I'm just telling it like it is. That's what she said, the whole thing. She said, you are a horrible speaker and you should really, really try to stay away from people and little children. That's what she said. And if you believe any of that, Rob, I will tell you firsthand that I am a reptilian.
That's great. Tomorrow I'm going to try to log onto the page and I'm going to be blocked out of it.
That's right. We're going to Facebook you. I've been Facebooked.
Oh, goodness.
I'm affecting change, so thus I've been Facebooked. That's a T-shirt. We probably get sued for that, but I don't care.
Yeah, probably. I know, right?
Yeah, we're affecting change. So I've been Facebooked. And, you do that, which is really sad. 98% of the Americans will be like, oh, you're on Facebook? They would have no idea what that means.
Nope, no clue.
I've been Facebooked. Yeah, I spoke my mind, and thus I've been Facebooked.
It's funny. My boyfriend's on his 14th 30-day suspension on Facebook.
Yeah, it's great. Well, like I said, it didn't take long for this show. We did the live feed, and within the first 2 minutes, they nailed us.
Yeah, you're buffering really bad on here too.
Yeah, it's you. Like I said, I tell people you can always go to Spreaker. Spreaker seems to be reliable, and the audio is rock solid there and stuff. But yeah, of course, you want to come out here and see my lovely face and my hole in my head from my alien hat. But
when I logged on, I was like, oh, he's got his green alien hat. I can tell you can see through it.
Yeah.
This is not an all green hat.
Yeah, I should. I made the mistake of one time standing in front of it with a green shirt on. I had my Green Lantern shirt on, and it was hilarious. I was just messing with it, but that goes to show you, though. Everybody's like, when I was looking at the craft this weekend that we saw, and it had that mirage effect, and everybody's like, oh, there's the technology. Well, here, guys, I'm wearing a green. Here, you can look right through my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me the technology doesn't exist, because we're doing it right now with the green alien. You're looking right through it to the screen behind me.
Absolutely.
So it's out there. The technology's there. Just because we don't know how to do it without using green screens and chroma keys doesn't mean they don't know how to do it. Heck, they're flying. Right. When's the last time you built a silent flying craft?
Right. Right. They've got the technology to travel whatever distances at whatever speeds, and people are trying to say, well, they don't have the ability to,
cloak,
to become invisible or cloak themselves.
Cloak
exactly.
Themselves. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's akin to, Brooks was saying, we were talking about if you could travel back in time, when would you go back, and what would you take with you? And Brooks, that was the question yesterday. And Brooks said, if I could do it, he goes, we would never have war. He goes, because I would build the biggest weapons that no one would ever want to mess with us ever. And that would eliminate all war. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was see, I would go back. I could see myself going back to the founders, to the Constitution, because in that same state prior to saying that, he was like, you can't tell me that the U.S. Constitution wasn't written in such a way that they had future knowledge. And
exactly.
So who knows? Maybe I did go back in time in a future date, and I did take the U.S. Constitution with me.
Interesting.
But you'll see other things in it. I promise you, Lori, if I do that, I'll give a shout out to you in the Constitution. I promise.
Aww.
It will be in there, and all truth will be self-evident. And
give me some sort of sign that you were there, will you?
I'll put an alien symbol.
There you go.
I'll make the $1 bill. I'll embed an image of an alien in the $1 bill.
You're right.
Yeah. Have you not seen that yet? Have you not seen the alien in the $1? I've already done it, Lori.
I posted it up on my wall the other day.
I know.
Yeah.
Was that you? Is that where I saw that? Was yours? Where you changed the contrast?
Yeah, that was me.
So there you go. I've already been back. I'm sending you messages. I just haven't known. I just don't know it yet.
That's too funny.
Who knows? Who knows? Hey, I will tell you this. I've got this little competition going. You got to get the word out. And I heard, Lori, you are a flat earther.
I am.
All right. So here's the competition. I will pay for your launch into space on the Bronson thing. Oh, no. We'll both go on the Bronson, right? If the Earth is round, you pay for my ticket, And if the Earth is flat, I'll pay for yours. How's that sound?
Now, see, I don't know if I trust Bronson because, I mean, hasn't he had a couple crashes recently?
Well, he had the one, and that was, I think, didn't they determine, I don't want to diminish, but they said someone pulled the handle too soon, or, you know.
Oh, God.
You know, I'm concerned, you think about it, you can wreck a multi-billion-dollar aircraft by pulling one lever. Yeah, that kind of makes me nervous. And
did somebody go, what's this button for? I mean, really?
Yeah. The button that says do not pull.
Right, in case of emergency. I don't know.
In case of, I think the FAA or whatever determined that I am not John. John's saying that there's apparently a prophecy where George Washington, or a person who mysteriously showed up during the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
There is. There's a picture where he's there, and then they can't identify him. There's like somebody I have.
There's a picture.
Briefly.
No, wait a minute.
It's a painting. It's a painting, or it's. I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember what he's talking about. It's either the writings of somebody that was there, or it was something, but they know that there was somebody there that they can't identify who he was. It was supposed to be a closed session, and there was an unidentified person there. And I guess they went to find out who he was after the signing or whatever, and he had disappeared. He had supposedly left town or something that they assumed. But I do vaguely remember hearing about that.
Well, look, I'm just throwing this out there to any agency, any civilian who needs a volunteer for someone to go back in time to jump between the portal. I'm there. I'm your man. And no, seriously, Lori, about when they get this space stuff going, I'll make a deal with someone.
Here's the thing with me and Flat Earth is I wouldn't say I'm 100% convinced.
Sure.
I look at it from the biblical aspect of it. And, my problem is the wording. I'm getting myself some older editions of the Bible to try to go back and try to draw my own conclusions on it.
Sure.
So from a biblical point, I am leaning towards it. On a reality level, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm the type that I have to feel with my hands, see it with my eyes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, Brad Olson and I said, I'm not going to believe in UFOs 100% until I can get in one and crash it.
Right.
And then I will believe in them 100%. But I'll tell you, the one I saw this weekend was pretty freaky. And it wasn't just me. There was 3 other people that saw it. But, going back to the flat earth, if you came back and said, look, I don't believe anything this government tells me, so I have to do the science myself, and I would be like, okay, that's cool. I can respect that. But I did talk, even Dr. Michael Heiser, we had, and I wish we would have gotten this on the conversation, because he actually breaks down the words of the Bible that are used, that a lot of people that use flat earth, and he's like, that's not what we're taking, we're taking ancient words and we are applying modern meaning to them, and you can't do that.
And that is exactly why I'm trying to get the older versions of the Bible to try to take a look at it myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched, I've listened and read Admiral Byrd. A lot of things don't make sense to me. His final expedition, why did he take an army with him? It was supposed to be a scientific expedition, turned into a military expedition. You think about.
Well, you're talking about Admiral Byrd to Antarctic.
Yeah, to the Antarctic.
Well, he did.
And here's another thing: is we've got a treaty that it's the only one on Earth that's never been broken. But that doesn't prove flat. That doesn't prove the Earth is flat. It proves that there's something there, and then that leads me to the whole Adolf Hitler and Arctic. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things, which leads me to possibility of a hollow Earth. So, I'm not going to label myself a flat earther. I'm just going to label myself as just trying to figure it out right now.
Listen to Brooks last night. I had Brooks Agnew on, and he was like, I did not know this, that there are no satellite images allowed to be made above or below the 60th parallel. That's by treaty. And I'm like, well, why is that? He said, well, because they said nuclear, warheads. I'm like, you can't tell me some government hasn't already figured that stuff out. And he talked about
There's too many questions. There's too many holes in their story.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
for there not to be something.
Well, the phenomena that he talks about the oceanic depressions and stuff. Yes. If you are a navigator and you are up in the Atlantic, and there are charts that have that noted on the charts that you're going to have what they call oceanic depressions. I always thought that they were caused by low pressure systems pushing, basically, if you take a straw and you blow down on it, you're gonna depress the water, right?
The water.
And stuff. But he's saying it's because of the fact that the Earth is thinner at those points. And then the fact, I mean, last night's show, I know it wasn't like a kaboom, kaboom, everybody, but if you listen to what was said, there was a lot of knowledge there. And I really, I baited him, and Brooks is a friend, and I baited him into like the whole reptilian thing, the David Icke kind of, and he's like, I'm not even going there. He's like, I'm not saying there is or isn't. He goes, I'm staying within the science, and the science says that there is a flat Earth. And, flat Earth, I mean, there's a hollow Earth. And the science says there's a hollow Earth. And this is why, I spent the last 2 hours explaining to you the science. And, and then the thing is, he goes, the whole Earth core structure that we're taught in school and, from the geologists, that's based on 1600 science, science that was done. They didn't have no clue. And also, if you look back at the Sumerian text, you'll see that they talk about the Anunnaki, and they talk about that because everybody has, every civilization has the Great Flood story. Yep.
The Sumerians are not immune to that, and their story is that the Anunnaki just, they escaped the flood by going into the earth.
Yeah.
So,
See, and Brooks talked about the flood, and what basically happened is that you had a penetration between the two. The science, I mean, and he talked about the science. He talked about Newton's law of opposing sphericals and, inside sphericals, and how they would obtain their own gravity. They would pressurize themselves, or they would self-pressurize. I mean, it was a great conversation and stuff. I mean, the flat earthers, and I get it. I understand it. Like I said, if you came to me and said, look, I believe in a flat earth because the government told me the earth is round, and I don't believe anything the government says.
Yeah, I see, I'm not like that.
Okay.
I have to see with my eyes, feel with my hands.
Yeah. See, I've seen it with my hands and my eyes. I mean, as a pilot, I mean, I've seen it. I know the navigational charts are set up in such a way that
Well, I've been in planes too, but then you get the people saying, well, that's some of the fisheye windows and stuff like that. So,
it's
not. I've never been in a cockpit of an airplane to actually look out and see.
Well, so. I can tell you from a pilot standpoint, the charts, the flight charts that we use are corrected for the curvature of the Earth. If they were not, you could not fly from point A to point B using a chart.
Right.
Because a line, you have to put the curvature of the Earth in there, or the calculation of it, especially over long distance. Now, short distance.
Well, not only that, but I've shot a gun before, and I know that I have to compensate for that also when I'm hitting the target.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing too is this thing called satellites. Satellites have to, and you have gravity in space. The reason why you have weightlessness in space is because you are always following around an elliptic. So in order for a satellite to orbit, or in order to have gravity, or you have to have a sphere in which you are falling around. So what it is you're trapped between the velocity to exit the orbit and the inertia that's the inertia
holding you down,
that's holding you back. So so you're right in that safe zone. Yeah. And so I love I love to hear the other theories and stuff, but
see, I would never go on, like on my shows a lot, Robbie will bring up flat Earth, Scott will bring up flat Earth, and I'll cut them off and I'll be like, look, this isn't, I don't want my name put out there as a flat Earth. As a flat Earth. Oh, okay. I'm not, I'm researching flat Earth. I'm not convinced of it.
You're a researcher. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. That's integrity right there. For you to say that, hey, look, I'm researching. I mean, it's and I agree with you. I mean, the thing, you can't be a Christian and take bits and pieces of the Bible.
No, not at all. That's why I'm trying to get the older editions. I'm going to look at it myself. I'm going to translate it myself. I'm going to look at it. I'm in the process of getting some charts sent to me by people that are just, I've been in touch with Eric Dubai, Mark Sargent. I've also been in touch with him. So I've been talking to these flat earthers. They haven't convinced me.
Yeah.
I'm not one to just like I said, I'm not just one to take something at face value. I have to dig into it myself.
Well, and that's the thing too. As part of the other side is I would reach out to Dr. Michael Heiser, because he translates those words and puts it.
That would be great.
Yeah, he's awesome. I bet you he's probably got an article already written about it. And of course, we had L.A. Mazzarulli on the other day, and I just asked him, and people were like, "I can't believe you asked him that." And I'm like, "Why wouldn't I?" He's a biblical guy, and the Bible says this. So I wanted to know how he reconciles the esoteric and the Bible. I mean, that's what the guy's known for.
That's what I'm having problems doing. I'm having problems reconciling it right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, so. I don't want people to go, oh my gosh, she's one of those flat earthers, because I'm not,
your viewership just went down by 20%.
I'm entertaining the possibility of it. I'm not totally closing my mind to anything right now.
Look, at this point, I agree with you. Like I said, I question everything they tell me, because I'm learning that everything they tell me in science is not true. And we're learning more and more. I mean, we had Robert Zimmerman that was on last week, and he wrote a whole encyclopedia on all of the predictions and all of the observations from the space programs. And then, you heard it from him. He said almost everything in that book is wrong. And these are from science. He said, we've proven all the planetary science that we thought for the last 100 years. In the last 10 years, we completely blew all that up as well. When it comes to planetary science.
I'm not going to, sit there and, I'm not your run-of-the-mill conspiracy theorist, because I don't call foul to everything, because, sometimes that rock on the ground is just a rock. Sometimes that light in the sky is just a light in the sky. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Not everything is conspiracy.
Oh, really?
Just the important things.
Just the things that really matter. Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, I believe anytime, look, whenever you get two people together who collude, that's a conspiracy. So you can't tell me that there hasn't been two powerful people in the world who have tried to got together and said, hey, look, how can we dice and slice this world up?
Well, I mean, if you want to go that route, look at it once a year in July in California, when they all gather at Bohemian Grove.
You got Bohemian Grove. You got the Bilderberger group. You got
the Bilderberger group. Exactly.
I always wanted to go there and say, hey, I want mine charbroiled with a little Swiss cheese.
Can I get a side of slaw with that?
Yeah, can I get some slaw with that? And they'll be like, we're not. It's like, well, no, you guys are the Bilderberger. I mean,
Bilderberger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's there's another T-shirt. We'll say Bilderberger, and then we'll have it's like Wahlburgers.
Oh, God, funny.
Yeah. Do you want that with a pickle or without?
Right, pickle. Oh, that's funny. So, I'm gonna let you get back to Rob there before he falls asleep, and Rob's doing a great job.
I'm enjoying it.
Like I said, that's the site that I was talking about when I was telling you about the two incidences that I had. That you go to report the incidences on. And Rob, I wish Mike would have come on with Rob, because he's a pretty interesting guy too. He's
whatever. He's a Brit.
Those blokes.
You don't want to talk to this Yank anyways.
You know, I can't say anything because my co-host is from the UK, so I'm kind of biased. But they're a funny bunch. So.
That's funny. So, no, he's doing a great job. All right, thanks, Lori, for calling in.
All right, hon.
And so,
all right, bye-bye.
All right, Rob. Laura. So, you didn't hear a word she said, man. I'll have to tell you later, but it's not good. I'm just telling you. You do not want to go on the show tomorrow. I'm just warning you. I'm giving you a heads up. Oh my gosh, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, buddy. You're in trouble. No, it was all good. I don't know what's going on with the phone system that they can't hear you. You guys are on the same machine, so I have to take a look. I really, that's one of the things that we're trying to do here at the Midnight Ocean, and that's why we need your help. And through generous contributions like Jeff Hayes and his New World Order books and everything. I'm actually reading the books, rereading them now. Those are the books that are on my bookshelf, and I'm reading those now. And through, Scott Lemriel and his contribution and, Liver Medic. I will tell people out there, I am back on the program with Liver Medic, and wow. I don't want to go into details because you guys can pretty much imagine you're talking about body mechanics, but I can tell there's a huge difference in just now that I'm back on the program. I got off it over the weekend and all my symptomology came back, and now I'm back on the program and it's all gone away. So I'm hooked. Hook, line, sinker, reel me in, because I definitely believe in the Liver Medic product line. And if you want more information, go out to livermedic.com. And there you go. See, just because I said that now, I can't monetize this video with YouTube. YouTube will be like, oh, we're not going to pay you because you just promoted someone else. So, but yeah, Rob, everybody in the chat room saying you're doing a really good job. Rob?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Okay, man. I didn't know if you fell over, if you fell asleep and stuff. So, well, let's do this, my friend. We are at the last segment of the show, and this is typically where I just kind of rant and rave. So if you want to drop off, you're more than welcome to. You won't hurt my feelings.
All right. I appreciate you having me on, though. Sorry, I'm not a talker, a people person so much, but hopefully maybe we can get Mike on one day. I think you'd have a real good show with him.
Hey, man,
just a big time difference.
Don't cut yourself short. You did a great job. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I mean, look, let me kind of explain something to you. You are on the air with a powerhouse talker, and the fact that you were even able to get a word in edgewise was pretty impressive. So don't cut yourself short. You did a great job. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, bud.
Not a problem. You take care of yourself and
all right.
And everything. That is Rob with UFO International Project joining us, and get out to their website, UFO International Project. I like it. I like the way it's laid out. It's simple. It's not complex. It doesn't look like it's been funded by an agency. Not saying that MUFON is anything but. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it is very simplistic in nature and very elegant as well. So it's one of those things where you got to look at it and you got to respect that. So what we'll do is we're going to take a quick break because we kind of blew through this break. And then when we get back, we will open the lines up. And that means anybody wants to call in. That means anybody. 352-388-3900 would love to hear from you here at the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and Podcast.
Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
That is right, Andrew. This is the Midnight Ocean Radio Show and podcast. Thank you for hanging in there as we take that long break. Wow. What a night. I kind of like these nights. These are kind of free form, kind of fun. I know a lot of people will be like, I'll come out to your show and you guys just didn't whatever. That's all I got to say. We got to have some fun every once in a while. And this is one of those shows where we had fun. Got to talk to some people and everything. If you'd like to give us a call at 352-388-3900. That is area code. I'm going to put it in the chat room so that's area code 352-388-3900. And there it is. It's in the chat room. So for those that are watching us on YouTube, feel free to give us a call. Love to hear from you. I want to say Rob did a great job. I enjoyed it and everything. I enjoyed talking with Rob. It's hard to come on the radio and do these types of shows, especially shows in which you are required to communicate and everything. Talk about communicate. I believe we have our good friend, Deb from Seattle, is joining us on the line. Deb, is that you?
You bet it is.
You're still with us? They haven't taken you away?
No, not yet, because I ain't been saying too much. I've been trying to keep quiet so they don't.
You've been keeping your mouth shut? Been laying low?
I'm on speaker. They totally pulled the feed from...
Yep. So, hey, Deb, I got another caller, so let me take this call real quick, and I'll get right back to you, okay? Hold on.
All righty.
Well, shoot. A caller from the 425 area code, call back in. We were like passing in the night. We were ships passing in the night as I was talking with Deb and everything. But the caller, someone just called in. So from the 425 area code, I just missed your call. And if you call back in, I promise I will answer it.
That's the Seattle area.
I don't know who it is. I have no idea. I can.
It was that guy that lives in this area.
Oh, I know who it is. Jeff, call back in, man. Yeah. So that was Sentinel who was calling in, and he'll redial here. But until he calls, Deb, we can chat for a little bit. So so they haven't come and gotten you, eh? Have you heard anything from MUFON?
Yeah, the one they assigned here locally, yeah.
She's coming out, right?
Yeah, she said maybe this weekend. I'm hoping it's going to be a clear night because they never come out when it's raining like this, heavy cloud cover.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's no fun. They can't. Maybe they're out to look at you. And the fact of the matter is, if you can't see them, there's no reason they can't see you.
Exactly, Jeff.
So that was probably.
I think they want me to know that they're here.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is all about.
Yep. Maybe. I mean, that could possibly be the case. I mean, I don't doubt that at all. Sometimes they. You don't know. You could have an alien. I'm telling you, if I was an alien, if I had that much power, I wouldn't be flying a ship because I would be messing with people. I would be. I'd be the first one to tell you. I would be the alien. I'd be like Paul in the movie Paul. I would be messing with people. I would land my spaceship on your pile of sand. I would cut I wouldn't do graceful pictures in crop circles. I would do like pictures of presidents and just, or stuff like Einstein with his tongue sticking out. I wouldn't, I would pick your car up and like put it in a tree or balance it on the chimney of your house. Just.
I don't think they have a sense of humor like that, Jeff.
Well, see, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't think they do like the sense of humor stuff.
Well, they get over they get over themselves. A little too uptight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
a little too serious.
Yeah, a little too uptight. So, Jeff, if you want to give us a call back in. I promise I will answer it this time. I will answer it. I think I upset Sentinel.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't take his call. I'm watching the chat room and stuff. He tried. That was Sentinel trying to call in. But
it's all about taking turns.
What's that?
It's all about taking turns.
I know. Everybody wants to talk to me. I can't wait until we get the thing. Here we go. So let me take this call and I'll be back. All right? Hold on.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. So, hey, Mr. Sentinel, how are you?
What's up, brother Jeff?
Hey, buddy. So I'm glad you can call in. And so, how you doing? How's the book coming? How's the number 3 coming?
I'm working on a new outline as I'm listening to the show here.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I started to reread number 1 because, gosh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been it'll be 4 years.
4 years.
After January, man.
Yeah.
So it's been around.
Yep. I'm glad we. I never thought about going to YouTube and looking for my old shows on YouTube.
They're probably out there.
No, they are. They're the whole list of
nice.
them. Yeah, it's like 1,000 of them, but there's a whole list of them.
Nice.
And stuff. I'll have to go. It'll be weekend work. So what I'll do is I'll just start. I'll just start probably. I'm merging. I got Deb and I got Jeff on. So hey, Deb.
What's up, Bill?
What I'll do is
I got to turn my volume down.
Yeah, turn the volume down, Deb.
There we go.
All right, so there we go. So Jeff, going back to your thing, I'm gonna have to spend the next weekend or whatever going back and listening to those. And I'm sure I announced who was coming on the show at the very beginning, so it's not like I have to listen to the whole show.
Yeah, exactly. You got a lot to go through. That was a pretty prolific political show you had there, man. A lot of big following for that. We got to get those people over on the Midnight Ocean.
Yeah, it was funny because someone asked me if I would come back and do an hour-long daytime show with the Midnight Patriot.
Yeah, if you squeeze that in with your other 4 hours a day, why not?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just got time. I think Sandy would divorce me. She would divorce me. She did not like what I became when I did that show.
We're not doing this for us. We're doing it for our kids, though. Just remind her of that. Remind her of that, brother.
I know. But, to be honest with you, I listen to Lori's show. I listen to a lot of the other guys. I mean, there's a lot of people out there carrying the torch.
Oh, yeah. I listen to a lot of the other people's show. They just never usually comment on the board. I catch a lot of the kind of smaller political / New World Order themed shows for sure. So.
Yeah. And, it seems like that's what everybody's doing. And, there's a niche for what we do. And, but I was thinking about, who knows, I'll be listening to the old Patriot FB stuff and I'll be like, oh my goodness. What we do need to do though, is possibly now with Lori and stuff, maybe we need to revamp Patriot FB and, bring that website up. And then that's a site, for those that don't know, is I actually maintained a site called Patriot FB, which was just like Facebook, acted, did everything, and we didn't censor anything. The only thing that we said is no pornography. That was the only rule that we had, but we didn't censor anybody. And you can
that might be a good idea.
You can post videos. You can do whatever you want to. Maybe I'll
link up.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll bring that up and we'll make that the Midnight Listener page.
There you go.
There you go.
And then, but yeah, it was that server was getting hacked all the time. I was spending about $600-$700 a month just on security for that server.
Wow.
And you know who was hacking me? Facebook. Yep. Yeah. Most of the hacks, most of the issues came from Facebook. Now, I don't know if it was people because there were people. All right. So there was the ability to link your Facebook account to this system. And so I don't know if they were using that to come into our system, but but what they were, able to do is come in through our system that way. And then we had a lot of trolls. They were harassing people. They were putting, inappropriate pictures up, things like that. And everything. Yeah. So then we went to, it had to be a referral based system. And the problem with referral based systems is that you only had maybe, when we shut it down, I had like over 40,000 people signed up for it. But then the problem was, John, many of my friends tried migrating from Facebook to that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of issues. We had a ton of issues. And so it just became, and, of course, how do I say this? But people can be real jerks sometime because you're providing the service to them free of charge. You're not charging them a dime for it. You're not making any money off of it. And when it goes down or when they have problems and you're actually putting in a ton of money into the system, when it goes down and it has problems, they call and call you names and stuff and say bad and evil things about you. And so exactly. I just said that's not worth it anymore, but maybe we can do that. Maybe we can rekindle that. I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me get with the boss.
There you go. We get some good subscribers on YouTube. See, over 250.
Yeah, we're growing, but we're going to kick over to Vimeo. Yeah, well, we're going to stay on YouTube, but we're also going to, have the video on Vimeos. And the reason for that is obviously because, I think today YouTube basically they told me I can't monetize any of my videos anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't want any of this true stuff getting out, so they're going to discourage. I've heard of tons of different people having that issue where our sponsors wouldn't approve of what you're talking about. Yep. So, sorry.
So, I think, Vimeo and stuff, they don't care.
Right on.
They don't care. And Vimeo's not going to charge. The only problem is that they don't, how do I say this? They don't have, I can say it just by the way I'm going to say it. They don't offer live streaming. There's live stream and Ustream. The problem is with that is that, the issue that you have with that is what was I going to say? Yeah, the real time stuff.
Listeners and
you can't chat.
Conversations.
Yeah, I'm listening over here in the chat room. I get distracted tonight. I'm just not in my A game tonight. Yeah, scene.is, John. That was actually there's more to that. That scene.is, they were actually selling their data. I know that John B. Wells was promoting the heck out of them, and apparently he come across something that they were doing that wasn't on the up and up, and stuff. So, you know what? I might just resurrect that I just might resurrect that service. I think it's now it's in due time, and I think we have enough people out there that are doing, between, Lori's show, between Jeff, what you're doing, what Eric's doing, even Possum, what she, a lot of the different groups, I think there's enough people out there that it's a place in which we won't censor. I'm not going to censor you. You can put whatever you want to up there as long as it's not pornographic. Your beliefs and what you think is your business. And hey, if you want to, it's like my grandmother, if you want to be an idiot, then you can be an idiot, right? Not saying that what we post is stupid, but I don't think we should censor that stuff. I don't think we should censor that at all. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will, Jeff. Maybe I
might as well. Time's short to wake people up and let them know what's going on and tune them into all this craziness, man.
Well, it's an alternative. It's an alternative to Facebook, right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's an alternative to Facebook, and it allows people to communicate without the fear of. And that was the policy there at at Patriot FB, was if you wanted your account deactivated, we deactivated your account and deleted all your data.
Yep.
And so that was the other thing too. And it's the fear of you can't. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I know that there's a big enough movement for that.
Yeah, a lot of people waking up left and right.
Yeah. I'll take a look at it. So, but Jeff, you get back writing your book, man. I'm gonna be done with this in a couple more days, and I'm expecting book number 3.
Yeah, a lot of people are, so I gotta get cracking on it. So,
but thanks for checking in with us, my friend. Take care of yourself.
You guys have a great night.
Yep. Bye now.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. Jeff Hayes, author. If you guys don't know Jeff, if you want to know about his first show that he did with us, you can the very first show, Jeff Hayes, New World Order. He's got a trilogy coming out. The first and second book is doing. I'm actually reading the first book now. I read it years ago when it first came out, and I'm rereading it, getting ready for book number 3. Oh, well, if anybody else would like to call in, I know that I kicked Debbie off there when I disconnected that call because they were on a joint call. So, but you know what? If anybody else wants to call in, give me a call at 352-388-3900. That's 352-388-3900. Before I forget, tomorrow we're going to have Stanton Friedman is going to be joining us. Yes, the Stanton Friedman. There is no other. There's only one. There can only be one. The Stanton Friedman is definitely going to be joining us tomorrow on the show, and that's going to be fun having him on. And it's been a really great week for science here at the Midnight Ocean radio show and podcast. We've had some great scientists on, some great authors and researchers and people like that. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a great way to wrap the week up is with Mr. Stanton Friedman. I made the mistake when I was talking to him on the phone, called him doctor, and he cleared it up pretty quick with me. I am not a doctor. And I get it. He should be. He should definitely be a doctor, but no, it is truthful. He is not a doctor, and he didn't want that to be put out there. But he did tell us how that happens quite a bit. People introduce him as Dr. Stanton Friedman. If you'd like to call in here as we roll on into the night, give us a call at 352-388-3900. 3900. Yes, Deb, you can call back. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to disconnect on you. It's just that when you guys were bridged together, it disconnected you. And because I'd like to talk to you a little bit more, you need to reach out to our friends there at UFO International Project. There's nothing wrong, Deb, with having multiple agencies looking at your situation. And for those that don't know, Deb, pretty much, you can set her watch by it. Pretty much every night sees strange vehicles orbiting her house, her home. The only time that she doesn't see them is when she can't see them. Doesn't mean they're not there. It's just that she can't see them because of clouds. She lives in the Seattle area. but she's already been in contact with MUFON, working with them and other people. And it's always refreshing to hear from Deb and see where she's at with things. So bring her back on. Deb, are you back? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to disconnect you.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know what was going on. All I heard was nothing.
Yeah, you were on a conference, and what happens is I can't hang up once I make the conference line, I can't hang up the conference line. Okay. I can't hang up individual lines. I can only hang up the main line. So.
Oh, I see.
So you need to reach out to UFO International Project and also make a report with them. There's nothing wrong, Deb, with having a couple agencies looking at your situation.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about those guys you were going to send over.
Yeah, they haven't, because we're trying to work out. I mean, these guys are professional photographers and film people, and these are Hollywood people, and they want to get paid. And I'm not rich. So, but I mean, now that you're working with MUFON, though, they might be able to help you out. The other thing is that maybe with the UFO International Project as well, they might be able to help you out. I know MUFON will come out there with cameras and take pictures if they can.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay that path. Stay that path. But
so I can't understand why nobody else is seeing this stuff, Jeff.
Well, it is, Lloyd Auerbach once said, sight is nothing but perception or interpretation. So the reason why no one else has probably seen it is because they haven't made themselves apparent to anybody else. So you got to remember, what you see is not actually sight. You see interpretation of wavelengths and electrical chemical responses. And so they might not actually be in the sense of a physical form. They might be just tapping into your brain directly and putting those visions, those images there.
Well, that could be possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lloyd Auerbach, when we talk about our paranormal with like ghosts and stuff like that, he doesn't believe that ghosts actually manifest themselves in a physical state, that they actually are imprinting on your neurological system. Which makes perfect sense to me. So hang in there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back, and we'll be wrapping this puppy up, this present, and putting a bow on it for tonight, and getting ready for the one and only Stanton Friedman tomorrow. That's going to be a great show. I hope I don't mess up talking. He's one of my heroes. He's one of the guys that, if you're in ufology, he is definitely one of the pillars of true ufology scientific research. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
This is the Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network. is the Midnight Ocean with Jeff Norton on the Paranormal State Radio Network.
That is right, Andrew. As we start to head back into the docks, it's been a great cruise as we just kind of bobbed out there in the ocean. Had a great conversation with Rob Jarrett of UFO International Project. It was fun. It was refreshing. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. It was just kind of fun. It's just hanging out, having a good time, and having great conversation as we bring Deb back onto the line here. So, hey, Deb, someone in the group, in the chat room, wanted to know, has any of your neighbors seen these craft?
No.
Have you like pulled anybody, like a family member or a friend, when you're out there and you see them and you say, hey, look at that. Look at, what do you guys see?
Every time I see them, all my neighbors, I live in a senior citizen mobile home park, and they're all usually asleep at that, when they come out. Another thing I wanted to tell you, Jeff, they took me and opened my third eye because I have a hole in my forehead. It's like a pin-sized hole, and I only know one other person personally that has had the same thing done, and the hole is in the same exact spot.
Whoa, let's back up because this is new. You never said this.
I told you there's a lot I haven't told you.
So you actually physically have a hole in the center of your head?
It's not in the center. It's up on the right side of the forehead, up right beneath the hairline, and it's a hole that stays open.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
Now, have you had that looked at by a doctor?
No. What am I going to tell them?
I don't know.
What it is, but you're not going to believe me.
No. I would say, hey, Doc, I got this hole in the side of my head. What's it from?
It's only like a pin-sized hole.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's very, very small, but it's easily visible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see it along your hairline. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I mean, I would just to rule things out. Next time you see him, say, hey, Doc, I noticed this right here. What is this? And then, just show it to them and see what they say. And, more than likely he's going to come back and say, yeah, it's a pinhole or it's something, it's a dilated pore or whatever they call, whatever.
Yeah, it's not a dilated pore or anything like that.
But I would make, I would definitely, maybe if you got relatives or friends or whatever, maybe do a viewing party. Some of the people in the chat room are saying, yeah, why don't you have a viewing party?
If I was come here, Molly. No, come here. I got to take her diaper off. Come here.
Her diaper? Oh, your dog?
Yeah, she's in heat.
Gotcha. I got you.
Oh, you're okay. I'm sorry.
Possum's like saying, like the size of a needle. Yeah, I think that's what we just
like
said.
a real fine pinhole.
Wow.
Go potty. I know one other person personally that has a lifelong abductions also, and he has the same thing in the same spot.
Does he live
And
close?
I asked him, what is this? And he told me. He goes, well, congratulations. And I didn't know what to think when
welcome
he said
to the
that.
club. Yeah. Does he live in the same area as you?
No, he lives in Santa Rosa or something like that, California.
Okay. Because I was going to say, what we really need to do, collaboration is huge. So we got to figure out a way. Obviously with MUFON and stuff, there's no one that that just hang out. Hey, this is really bad. Hey, come on over and have dinner. Oh, by the way, do you happen to see that thing floating in the sky above the house?
I don't, because they all think I'm crazy, Jeff. Every time I even bring it up, yes.
Oh, I know. I can imagine. I'm sure everybody, and especially when you're in a close community like that, is kind of like, yeah, you're the crazy one.
Yeah, I don't want to be looked at as a crazy neighbor because they do give me weird looks when I even try to bring the subject up.
Yeah.
Go, get in.
Wow. I mean, and you don't have a video camera or anything?
I do on my iPad.
I'm wondering if you just mount your iPad up and just play record, just take your iPad, point it up into the general direction in which they're at, and just hit record and let it run, and then take the recording. And, something would be better than nothing.
Yeah, I've tried to do that with those helicopter things, but it just can't zoom in close enough. You can't really tell what it is.
Well, you don't necessarily. I don't think anybody at this point wants to. I mean, obviously, we'd like to get on board with them, but if you can just show they're clearly objects flying around your house, and
I have that on video from my iPad.
You do?
I do.
Well, email that to me.
You just can't get really close like binoculars.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, but we'll start. Let's start there. So send that to me. The listener. listener.themidnightocean.
Yeah.
At gmail.com. Send that to me.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, email that to me. Let's start there. And then let's kind of work. I wish I was close. I wish I wasn't on the opposite end of the country.
Really?
Because if I'd be there with my cameras and everything. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's really something on a clear night, Jeff. It's quite unbelievable.
Wow. And I'm trying to think.
Helicopter things try to make those orange orbs back off, and I actually seen it back off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that would be the thing too, is that as long as you can see those movements of light in the sky, and I mean, let's just start there. Let's start simple. Maybe we're over complicating this. Just take your iPad, put it in full view, like full field of view. You don't zoom it or anything. Just put it in full field of view, set it up, so it's pointing in the sky, hit record, and let it record. Let it record these things dancing around. Yeah, don't hold it though, because you when you shake, or everybody shakes, it will make it distorted. If you have to mount it on something that's stable, like a table or something that's not going to move, and then that will keep it from being as jittery.
Well, this video isn't jittery or shaky at all.
Yeah, then do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because there's something weird going on here. I mean, I've seen the things in the sky that blink red, blue, and white. I've seen them since 2007, but I've only recently been seeing these 2 to 3 orange orbs in the sky.
Yeah.
I'd say within the last year.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Take the video. Let's start there. Or send me the video you have, and let's start there.
All right, I will.
All right. Well, Miss Deb, I have to tell you, we are getting late into the night. We've made it almost our 4 hours.
Cool.
Yep. And everything. I appreciate you calling in. But yeah, send me, it's listener.themidnightocean@gmail.com.
I better go write this down.
I don't have I can't text it to you.
Hold on.
And then,
pen, there you are. Okay, what is it again?
It's listener.
Okay.
.themidnightocean@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yep, listener.themidnightocean@gmail.com. And it should be. Now, yeah, so that can do that. So I will tell you that I'm just reading some because people are asking questions. Does Deb have any interactions with them during her dreams? Absolutely.
Yeah.
John, she has actually had abduction issues. Where she has
I know I have because of marks and scratches and bruises and broken nails and broken jewelry. And I sleep alone, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do know that you've had some physical issues, and like you said, the scratches, your broken fingernails, you've had jewelry that's been broken, things like that as well. So this is some serious stuff. Let's start out with that. Yeah. Shoot me that video and then do the other one.
Okay. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. What's the problem? I don't, possums, I don't know. Possums in the chat room, got blocked by Nightbot. Let me see. Let me see what policy you violated there, Possums.
Oh, crap.
It's funny because we have the thing. Hold on. Doesn't sound like a good, I don't know. Oh,
it's sunny here. Maybe it'll be a good day.
Yeah, possums. Where you got nailed is that, and this is John. My comment about not a good thing was for Deb about the pinprick. So it's all prick, and you got nailed for the pinprick comment and stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's certain words that we do block, and that is one of them. The prick by itself is one of them. So that's, it didn't like the pin. Yeah, exactly. Possums. That's what you got nailed for in the chat room. Yeah. Nightbot's on it, man. Nightbot don't joke around. I mean,
tell her to use the phrase pinhole.
Pinhole. That's right. Use pinhole. So that's it. Yeah. No, Nightbot doesn't joke around. It's pretty serious stuff. We have to do that because you get these a-holes that come on and, they don't care about what we're talking about. They just want to, and they're all like giggling to themselves. I remember I had a good friend that had a radio show, a podcast, and he used to have a group of teenagers get on his chat room and jack his chat room up. They thought it was funny until Jeff showed up at their doorstep one night, knocking on their door and talking to their parents. To this day, they're still trying to figure out how I tracked them down. I'm sure, but it just happened that they were in my neck of the woods, and so I was willing, because my buddy's a real good friend of mine, and I was willing to make the drive. It was about a 10-hour round trip drive to go see these young men, and had a lovely conversation with their parents as I handed them the transcript of the things that their children were saying in this guy's chat room. So, oh well. So we're getting late into the evening. So tomorrow is going to be a great show. We're going to have Stanton Friedman's going to be joining us. Deb?
I know. I can't wait.
And I will I'm going to bring up your case with him and see what he thinks and see maybe.
Please do.
Yeah. He's probably going to tell you like everybody else, go, call MUFON. Which we've already done that, right? And so we'll see. Right. But the thing is when you get a heavy hitter, I'm not making promises, because if we can get a heavy hitter such as Stanton behind you, that man can move heaven and earth. He is, obviously for who he is. So,
come on, Lucy.
I just want to say good night. Be well, Deb. Take care of yourself. And I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow. And as I say my au revoirs here on the show, take care. Bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
So there you go. What a show. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I know it wasn't, as formal as we wanted to and stuff, but Rob did a good job for his first show ever on his own. Yes. So get out to their organization, UFO International Project. I kind of like them. Like I said, I like the simplicity of their site. It doesn't scream of alphabet agency. Not saying that MUFON is or isn't. I'm just saying you can tell that these are guys who are doing the science of UFO investigation for the science of. And the flash and flare and all that stuff is not important to them. It's all about the science. And that's what we're here. It's all about the science, getting the non-mainstream ideas out to the mainstream. So I want to thank Rob for joining us, Deb, of course, on the line, Jeff for calling in, Laura for calling in, Laura. I'm a horror. It's Lori. I have to ask her. It's Lori for calling in. All of you people, use people. What do you mean use people? All of the listeners out there in the chat room. Thank you for joining us, making the show what it is. I'm going to kick around this idea of possibly setting up a social network that is, how do I say, censorship proof. The only thing I will tell you this though, we won't allow pornography or naked girls. There's no reason for it. I'm not a big fan of it. You're talking to a guy who's got 3 daughters, 2 grandchildren, 2 granddaughters, and a grandson. It just doesn't float with me. But other than that, you can post whatever you want. I don't care if you want to claim that John F. Kennedy was a reptilian. I can care less. Or that Hillary Clinton is a career. I can care less because, you're just posting the truth as we go. Lasers in the jungle. Love that hat. Yeah. Yeah. See, lasers in the jungle. It proves my daughters, when they see the hat, they love it because when they watch the show, it proves what they've known all along. There's nothing between my ears and stuff. So I just, I couldn't resist. I always have to do that when I wear the hat. The hat. Well, like all good things, it must come to an end. I do apologize. I wish I could sit here and talk to you guys forever, but I have to get ready for tomorrow's show with Stanton Friedman joining us. I think I've said that a couple times already. But, yes, we have to shut it down and reboot for tomorrow. I did enjoy the show tonight. We proved that we can go 4 hours talking with guests and also callers. That was enjoyable. I wish we could get more callers. Maybe I need to make a little bit more of an investment and get that phone system in here a little bit sooner. But, we'll when I start having different callers, how do we say that? We'll make that capital investment. Like always, I just want to tell you guys, be well, be safe, but more importantly, be love. And that's the wrong song. That was funny. Well, we'll play this. ETA. And then we'll do the Be Love song. Good night, all.
What is our estimated time of arrival? Tell me, what are my chances of survival? I'd say it's least to none, but at least I know I can't be outdone. I'd say it's more to some, but at least I know I'm having fun. Why does it feel like we're walking backwards through revival? How can I fix when you know I'm going through denial? I'd say it's more to some, but at least I know I'm having fun. You make it forced or none, but at least I know I've got the sun. Oh, like it really matters now. Oh, Coda, but I learned it from my Baba. It's not what you believe, it's what you do. It's what you do. It's what you do.